Oh, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. The Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 4, Day 1. And we're going to get all into this episode. I am alone right now, but Joe Dirty Locks will be with me in a little bit, same as last week. And we're going to get all into this episode. We got a poll in the chat right now if you're joining us live. Share your thoughts on this episode. Is it awesome? Is it pretty good? Is it meh okay? Or is it poop on a stick? I want to know what you have to think. And I also want you to call in the show if you're watching this live. Or if you're watching later, you can call in and leave a voicemail. But the phone lines will be open all night. I'll have them intermittently turned on and off or leaving voicemails and such like that. But you can call in all night. Or if I miss your chat, you can send me a text message at 781-990-8509. Again, that's 990-8509. People in the live chat, please tell me, is my audio okay? I know last week I was a little quieter than normal, and I mean I'm loud as hell. I'm talking off my ass. I'm babbling like a madman on poop and crack. But I am, last week I was a little soft. So let's, please let me know if my audio is okay or it isn't okay. And thank you for the feedback. And hopefully there isn't any feedback. I like real feedback, not microphone feedback. What's up, my bloaters? What's up, my clickers? We got to talk all about this episode. Now, first off, before I get into it, I'm glad that I'm here for a little while without Joe so I can wax poetic a little bit about Jeffrey Wright and acting performances tonight. I thought every scene with him in this episode was unbelievably perfect, and we're going to get into that. And I thought some other stuff worked in this episode, and I thought for the most part this was one of the better episodes for the season. I actually felt like things were moving forward. Things were happening. The action in this episode had me kind of grabbed. I'm feeling a little under the weather. I'm a little this is me low energy. And it grabbed me and it kept me invested in the episode. Unlike last week where I was high energy and it brought me down, this episode actually kept me going. I thought some of the action in this, unlike with the attack episode on the town, it felt more real. It felt more scary, more. Even though I knew our main characters were really in trouble, it still ended in kind of an interesting way. I was 100% right. I did not know any goddamn spoiler about Dena being pregnant, but they called that shot the minute they showed her throwing up. Thank you to Tony and Joe for not sort of busting that for me, but I was totally right on that one. TV trope number 104.8 in the book. If you see a character throw up, they're most likely pregnant. So, but I'm not alone here. Joe Dirty Locks might be a little, running his, making his entrance. But I'm not alone because I have with me some of the best, some of the beautiful, some of the most amazing. Yeah, you know what I said. And we got Moni G, we got Queen Lee, we got our good friend Lou, we got John Haymaker, Jake Jens, we got Tanya in the live chat. We got Sonic, your boy. We got my good buddy Rakes raking in all the pots at the poker table. And I don't know if that's what it means, but I'm going to take it as that. Rakes, my good buddy. We got Loner Incognito. We got Rishi in the live chat too. We got our good buddy Edward Martin who says, I like it. Mikey liked it. I liked it too. I did. So let's read some of our top. Dena's actress was always good. Yeah, she was really good. Another amazing episode for her tonight. I'd like to think when Isaac said make a choice, he was talking about choosing Last of Us or Dead City, which is obviously what you watching. And I think we chose the right one. For whatever it's worth. I'm not watching Dead City right now. I don't know what's going on with Dead City. I don't know what they do for work. But I'm glad I'm not in the Walking Dead universe at the moment. It is NBA playoff time for me. Tony and I didn't talk about this, but our two teams are facing off starting tomorrow. It's going to be interesting times. But yes, Knicks Celtics, excited for it. Not a bad episode, but the subway horde should have lasted longer. And it should have been a little more dangerous too. I'm just saying our characters this season, I understand it because, there's main characters, but there's definitely a little bit of, character armor, plot armor things going on with some of our characters. We saw it with Tommy in the first episode, or not the first episode, in the third episode with the bloater situation where other ones were ignoring him. There's a little bit of that tonight too. They're just doing the bare minimum, all these action scenes, trying to drive the story. Ellie, I'm immune. Dena, I'm pregnant. Let's fuck. I think it was better than the last episode. It was definitely better than the last episode. Can't say it enough. Love the Dena's character. Loner Incognito, I am with you. I think maybe I'm waxing too poetically about it as I've been doing every week, but this actress jumps off the motherfucking screen. Like, I can't wait to see more stuff she does. This is the first thing I've seen her in. I know she's been in some other stuff. People have said it in the chat. But I am very much impressed by her as a performer. I think she steals every scene in a very organic, natural way just because she has immense charisma that jumps off screen. Yeah, I'd fuck with Dena too, Tanya. Jake, I actually like the change they made to that part of the game. Trying to hold back from shooting Ellie was great. I'm curious to talk to Joe and hear more about how that went in the game, but I thought that was an actual interesting, dramatic moment that they created. I don't know if that was created for the show or something that we dealt with in a different context, in a different situation, but I think it's one of the best things about this series is the ability to create some of these human drama moments. I think that's one of the best things in any apocalyptic kind of situation. And when you involve something special like what Ellie is capable but doesn't tell anybody what's going on, it just puts it in all kinds of uncomfortable positions there. And the emotional energy that they were able to create in that scene I thought was very strong, because I mean, we kind of knew that Ellie was going to eventually say something, but the show's not going to kill Ellie right there. But still the drama was successful in creating it. Even if I know that the characters have plot armor and they're going to work their way out of it, I still think the real drama existed where you felt all of what Dena was feeling, you saw in her performance, I should say. And I thought that really pulled that off. And the way Ellie was acting in that moment, too, made sense. Like, how do you act in that moment? How do you express that? To not make it seem like you're just begging for your life. And someone like Dena might want to rip that Band-Aid off, Since Pedro Pascal is gone, do you think that Bella is doing a good job holding down the show? I think that's an impossible task to ask. I think the show is doing a decent enough job so far, but has a long way to go to prove that it can carry this entire season without Pedro. I think having Jeffrey Wright on your show helps, for sure. Jeffrey Wright killed as Isaac. I agree. I thought he was a standout moment of the episode, standout character of the episode. Ellie needs Tommy to carry the show. Yeah, Jeffrey Wright is a top tier actor. Great actor. Great to see him in more meaty parts. Yes, there's the Westworld thing. Loner Incognito, you still have not watched Westworld. You can't anymore. It's gone. It's Westworld. We don't got no Westworld around. We don't got no Westworld around here. There's no Westworld anymore, right? Like, Westworld's gone. You can't find it anywhere unless you steal it online somewhere. Am I correct? Or is that old information? Has it been bought and put on some app somewhere that I don't know? Or is Westworld still part of the dead media that HBO decided to just take off their servers for whatever reason? Hey, I like how the Scar said, you people come back. Yep, and we never go. That was an interesting moment, and I thought that was a good sort of spin on the interrogation moment where it's just like, yeah, well, you have defectors to our side, and people believe. It reminds me of a line in Godfather 2 where it's like, when I see the rebels, it makes me believe that they can actually win because they think they can do it. Welcome to the motherfucking jungle. I'm here in the shower. 10 out of 10 episode. Sonic, your boy. I love that you're listening to us in the shower right now. Dance around a little bit, but don't slip. Don't slip and fall. I wouldn't want you to fall like Uncle Junior on The Sopranos and go, sisters! Ooh. Monty G, great to see you. The bottom tier should be piss on it. You're right, Lou. Lou Scanned. I fucked it up. I dropped the ball. It should have absolutely been piss on a stick, not poop on a stick. I completely. Well, see, this is why you're awesome. Not only are you an amazing artist, you're smart as a fucking whip. Smart as a fucking whip. This one, but yeah, that's good. I feel I want to cancel the poll and put that up there for now, but I can't do it. I wish I could edit my poll. That sounded dirty, but it wasn't. Hey everybody, I wish I could edit my poll. Yeah, you want it. You want me to edit that poll all over your face. No, I'm kidding. You don't want that. Okay, Queenly. Yes, I'm unsure about this episode. If it's better. Yep. I'm unsure about this episode. It is better, but not enough Jeffrey Wright. And I would say that Jeffrey Wright made this season better. Like his presence, his acting presence makes everything a little bit better. So any scene that we saw with him tonight, I thought worked exceptionally. Oh, and by the way, if you're watching this crap, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and share this out somewhere. Like send it out somewhere into the sphere of your stuff and help a few more people get in here. So we can have a couple more people talking about this episode and we can babble about this and have fun. My friends. It's great to have you. Okay, so let's continue. But yeah, I'm unsure. Jeffrey Wright, every scene with Jeffrey Wright is amazing. So I just want him more. I want more of him in the episode. I'm with you on that one. But yeah, you can't. I'd like to think I'm a shambles. I'm unsure. Definitely Jeffrey Wright. I hated the torture scene. I hated it too, but it was well done. It was well done, and that's what a torture scene should be. It shouldn't be like, it should make me as uncomfortable as that scene made me. Have you ever questioned the nature of your own reality? Every fucking day. Yes, I have. She has to pee on 4 sticks. Was it 4? Was it 4 or 5? I think it was 4. Yeah, it was 4. I think I said 5 in my notes, but Loner Incognito, I think that's just because I'm blind. Because I'm losing my sight at epic proportion on an everyday basis. I'm not going to be able to read your chat soon without wearing glasses. I thought she was pregnant, but I thought that she did not get back to the ex. These violent delights have violent ends, John. And I think we need to see I think Jeffrey Wright needs to say that at some point this season. Just to give a little love to his Westworld peeps. Looks like next season will be all about the Abby. And I'm going to get into this later. Is that how they decided to split this at this point? Are we not going to... I want to wait till Joe gets here to say this, or wait till I get through the chat here, but I do want to say I don't know if I like another episode with no Abby. So she's not... So it's this... We don't care about her. She's just a villain to be conquered at the end, correct? We don't care about Abby anymore, all right? Okay. So but is that what they're gonna do? They're gonna have these 7 episodes lead up to bumping into Abby, and then they're gonna show the next 7 episodes in the second half of the season. Have Abby 7 episodes leading up to meeting up with Ellie, and then finish it off, or something like that. Is that how they're gonna do this? Or have like 4 episodes, whatever, split it up so that we have 4 episodes of Abby next season before we meet back up, and then have 2 episodes of the 2 of them together for some reason. I don't fucking know. I'm curious. This is one of those things I'm very curious of Tony and Joe's perspective of people that played the game. If they're concerned or if they like the fact that we haven't seen Abby again since, since she played Topgolf. Okay, more Jeffrey Wright. I could not agree with more. Queenly. And Westworld opening theme song is awesome. I like the intro too. Yes, Sonic, Abby has disappeared since episode 2. Dena is the best. She's my favorite character. Monty, as me as well. She's making the show worth it for me to watch every week. Not that I'm not enjoying other aspects of the show, but I am legit excited to see her in scenes. Even her witty repartee with Ellie, her banter. That's the word I'm strict of. There's a Frasier episode where Frasier wants to host the parade and no one will banter with him. Even her banter has substance and humor to it. I am really enjoying her. If you aim to cheat the devil, you better bring him an offering. Great point, John Haymaker. They showed a man's pee-pee in this episode. There was pee-pee in this episode. We saw some pee-pee. There was some pee-pee in the pot tech. 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 Sorry. Yeah, there was some pee-pee in the poppy. There was some poppy in the pee-pee. There was some pee-pee in the poppy on the show. There was a wiener. It was a wiener schnitzels. Anyways. Okay, so the wiener episode. There were some good wieners. I did like the interrogation scene. I liked it too. It was uncomfortable, and I think it should have been uncomfortable. Have you ever danced with the devil by the pale moonlight? Classic line. Great line. Good Joker line. 5 points for Loner Incognito. Jeffrey Wright is so good. I miss Westworld. We need Aaron Paul in this program. We need Aaron Paul in everything. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, Isaac was the best character by far. Rakes. It was Jeffrey Wright by a country mile. Is that how they say that? Like, is that longer than a normal mile? If it's not, then I mean 2 miles. A marathon. But he was very good. I think they're separating Ellie and Abby's story because they're in totally different locations, and it would have been too expensive to do both. Interesting perspective, and you're probably right, especially considering stuff I was saying earlier. That makes sense. I thought that Pam was going to edit that Scars pull. Oh! I wish I had the drum beat for you on that one, Lou. Uh-oh, he said pull. Joe Foster, I don't get how this is a sequel to National Treasure. I love that show. Monty G, I thought for sure we'd at least get a glimpse of Abby at this point. With all the Seraphim attacks, she could already be dead. That's a very good point, Monty, and I'm going to talk about that a lot throughout this episode, throughout our recap, especially the more buzzed I get as the night goes on. I think I am going, as much as I have some problems or sort of concerns about the casting of Abby, I felt like a lot of that would be figured out the more we see her. And now taking a long break between seeing her, I don't think helps the case. I think, but anyways, I'll get into that later. I want to catch up on this chat. I want to catch up on you guys in chat. Isaac is a brutal dude. They had to get a good actor to play him, and they did. And he is perfect. Was that, who happened to that? He plays him in the game, right? Like, I don't know that for a fact. Is that what Tony was saying earlier? And were they saying that in the after school special after the episode? And I know what I said. Hi, everybody. We're going to tell you about all the wonderful things in this episode. Like, I hate this. I mean, I appreciate post-episode stuff, but, shut that shit down and come over here and listen to this. And if YouTube wasn't such assholes, I'd play it live and we could listen to what they said about the episode. But if I do that, we're going to get blocked into eternity. But let's continue. But Isaac's a brutal dude, and he pulls it off really well, too. It's hard to just trust 1 or 2 pregnancy tests. You got to trust 4. 4 are right, exactly. 1, possible mistake. 2, maybe a bad trend, a bad pack. 4, you can't really fuck with that. Yeah, I think so, Sonic. This is something Joe will have to answer when he gets here, or some gamers in the chat, but I'm pretty sure that it was Jeffrey in the game as well. And maybe that Neil Druckmann is correcting mistakes he made in the game for the show. I do think there's an element of that, Loner, or just he's making his own commentary, as someone was saying in the earlier stream on Tony's. And when I say Tony's, if you don't know what that is, that's Teflon TV. Make sure you subscribe to over there for the pre-show every week, 7 p.m. before the episode, and tons of other great content over on Teflon TV. And I bounce over. That's basically my second home over on Teflon TV. But make sure you check out the Last of Us pre-show at 7 p.m. every week over there, Tony and I. And we take your calls and kind of lead us into the episode. So it may be that, and someone was saying that he's sort of doing his own commentary on the decisions he made in previous games and by changing things, adapting things, doing his own fan fiction. And if that's the case, that works for me, even if it's not everything that I'm going to, if I was a gamer or somebody like that, if I was specific about it, if it's the same creators doing it and they're just making stylistic choice differences, that's their choice. It's like with Invincible or The Boys. No, not The Boys is a bad example. Invincible is a better example because actually, what's his name? Kirkman is working on it. And when he decides to change things, he's changing things because he decides he wants to change something specific because he wants to make a different choice or make a commentary on something he did in the previous comic of Invincible to do it differently on the series for whatever reason. Maybe like Loner was saying, correct some mistakes. I like Isaac. You do. He's the first wolf that's made you like him, You get the intense part to cast 100%. Maddie Man Dodge. We're good to see Maddie Man Dodge in the live chat. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And everyone, thank you all for joining us tonight on Star Wars night. It's Star Wars night. How'd you celebrate your Star Wars? How you playing with your wars and your stars? Mr. Caskell, subscribing. You fucking rule. How's that thing on the screen that just popped up over my fucking face said? You rule. Dena is the heartbeat of the show. I agree, Rishi. And I agree with Sonic agreeing with you. Pee in the party. Pee in the party. John Haymaker, I don't know if we're going to get reciprocity. Reciprocal nature. Before I Yosemite Sam that. Or Elmer Fudd that thing and try to say that word 75 times before I eventually just give up on it. There's some pee in the party. Pee in the party. Okay, so let's stop that shit. Dena should. I like her. Look who's talking now. May the 4th be with you. May the 4th be all of you, all over your faces. I hope your lightsabers is slashing you all over the place. And I did watch a Star Wars thing today. I made it a point, and Joe's laughing at me from backstage that I've watched Star Wars stuff. I did, Joe. I watched some fucking Star Wars today, and I watched one of them.
I did too.
Oh, you did? Really? Did you?
I did. I watched the end of Clone Wars. Number 2.
Oh, cool. So cool. I watched,
but only like the Count Dooku Anakin fight.
Yeah, the Yoda.
What's his name was already on the ground when I tuned in. Obi-Wan was already on the ground, and I tuned in from, Anakin taking over, Yoda taking over, Dooku escapes, and when we got back to Anakin and Princess getting married, I was like, I went back to my game. No, I was eating, and I was like, I don't feel like changing the show.
No, I watched Return of the Sith. I made it all the way through it. I watched it all the way through. I didn't stop, Joe, not once. And it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. It's a good watch. It's my favorite of the original or of the prequel series, the third one there. And so welcome, Joe. I got into this episode a little bit, but we haven't got into the recap or broken it down at all. I definitely think this was an improvement from last week. I like Jeffrey Wright in this. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Isaac. Jeffrey Wright played Isaac in the game as well. Yep. And I thought he was the best part of 2 seasons so far. I thought Jeffrey Wright might have been the best thing we've gotten so far. I'm curious if you have the same kind of feel.
I do.
Okay, cool. What are your thoughts on this episode, coming off this episode?
I have mixed thoughts about it right from the start. Like when they noticed the WLF building up on the satellite, I'm like, really, I kind of feel like Ellie's sure gung-ho, but like that's the kind of shit like she and Joel did across the country. Like she would know. Like, not to rush in, daylight, this, that, like, a million eyes, a million buildings. That was part of, like, Philadelphia, the whole thing. Like, there's just a lot that I found wrong with that scene. It worked. It was fine. Dena does a good job.
Yeah, she's off. Like, I was saying what I was saying earlier, maybe I'm waxing too poetically about it, but she jumps off screen. Is she as captivating in the game?
She's better in the game.
Okay, no, fair.
At times, I think the show does itself a disservice. For example, Ellie and her are escaping, and they get to the turnstile.
Yep.
And
does that whole thing happen with she?
No, she gets bit earlier in the show, earlier in the game. And Dena finds out. I'm pretty sure it happens during the whole what should have been in episode 2.
Right. So ultimately, what you're like, and we're gonna break down the whole episode, Joe, and get into.
But like the camera angles, yep. Right? Like she gets bit, and it's right in front of Dena's face, and Dena very obviously notices. And then she gets pulled through, and she looks at the arm again, and then they show it desperately, and then they show Dena's face.
Yep.
Another time, like what are you doing? Like you gave us those 2 shots specifically in one, like that's the kind of waste of time shit, the seconds that matter, the disservice that the show does to itself. And that takes away from Dena, because now you're telling this character to make an O face at something she just made an O face for, but tell her to think about it a little bit differently because now you have to kill her. And then, like,
she made a few O faces in this episode, but that's beside the point.
But, like, when we get to, like, the actual have to kill her part, like, I thought that was done really well. But, like, the show does itself a disservice.
Yeah, I thought that scene was really
and some of the little things, and like, and the character development, and like, Ellie is the most capable person that wasn't fucking Joel. Like, and they really made her out to be like, yeah, Joel's my dad, so like I know everything.
Yeah, you just so is it?
But it's been years, and but like still.
It doesn't seem like it has been though. The amount of time that's gone by, it doesn't seem like it's been 5 years in all that situations. So is it fair to say that within this episode, it had, like you said, you had some conflicting views. There were elements of this episode you really liked, and there were elements of this episode that frustrated you, and there was more the little things that frustrated you. Some of the bigger moments of this episode you kind of liked, because I actually really liked the scene where Dena was going to shoot her, and I thought that was done really well with the light, even with the visual aspect of it, where the light was shining, you couldn't see Dena's face. Like when she woke up from it, like I thought from that whole point to the end of that scene, to the point where they hooked up, was done really, really well. And I even think the hookup was done really well too. And I think everything with Jeffrey Wright in this episode was done really well. What I didn't like is something that Tony was talking about, and you got more of it in this episode, how casually they're just walking through the streets with no danger for certain sections.
And they're in the music shop, and they're in the music shop and
playing drums. They're playing fucking drums.
The little things, dude. The little things. Like we still don't want to make noise. We're in a fucking city. We know there's 2 different factions in the city that are currently fucking warring, not to mention the fucking infected that might still be lurking around that we always have to worry about. But let's make a whole shit ton of noise in this.
Do you know what
and
it
then, like,
yeah.
The song I was okay with. I was okay with that.
That's quiet. It's a quiet guitar.
In the game too, but like still.
It's a quiet guitar thing, but playing drums, that's just ridiculous. It reminds me of the dumbass hobbits in the first Lord of the Rings movie that are cooking when the Nazgul are looking for them. And they just like light a fire and they're cooking in the fields when Aragorn leaves them alone and Frodo wakes up. He's like, "You dumbasses, why are you fucking cooking?" There was like, you're playing the drums in where there's like creatures that could wake up in the night, you fool of a took, it was just like a really dumb moment with the drums. And don't get me wrong, I'm part drummer. I love seeing dual drum sets in the music store and all of that. But
the first thing I do when I hear you hit the drum is yell at you.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you and me are walking in there, and as much as I love the drums, and at that point it'd probably be years since I had played the drums, like 7 years since I played the drums, 5 or however long it's been, 5 years. And I dare go near that fucking thing, Joe, you cut my fucking hands off.
You're in stealth. You should be in stealth mode.
They don't know stealth. There's no stealth.
And that's the thing about the game. Like, when you play this game, especially on grounded mode, like, stealth is it. Like, stealth, bullets, nothing is taken for granted. Everything is a scarcity. Like, the littlest noises bring shit out from all over the place. Like, it's
and they did that
terrifying.
And they did that, and to your point, Joe, they did it sometimes. There was a moment like when they get into the point where the guards are in the room with them, they shift into stealth mode for a second, but it's almost like they just turned it on for a second and they kind of turned into stealth mode. But when they're just walking through the streets of an empty city, they're literally just out in the open. And then they had to stop and be like, "Oh, you can't just walk up that hill. Oh yeah, Anakin, you have the higher ground." And they have the higher ground, and we're going up the hill on a fucking horse. Yep. And they had to sort of stop. "Oh yeah, we can't just walk out in the daytime." And you're literally going in a horse down the middle of the street in a city that's run by a military. You don't think there's other people on binoculars? You have binoculars. You don't think there's any more binoculars in the world that could spot you? Again, I just want to be clear. I really like this episode, but to Joe's point, there are a couple of little things that snuffed my up against.
They're out on the roof after having their intimate night after she gets bit, and they run out onto the roof, just stand there with all these buildings looming over them, Like they are like at least stay down. We don't have to stand out in the open to let our eyes see what we're seeing
Yeah,
right now.
absolutely. 100%. 100%. Let's get in a little bit in the chat. Monty G says, I was wondering
Like,
what. Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Go for it.
and that's because like when people are in battle, they're not all just looking at the battle. You have to make sure nobody's coming from the back, from the sides, that you're not getting flanked. These are important strategic things that you have to worry about.
Yeah, and you're in a military city that supposedly has this lockdown because they're in like a three-way. What I'm putting together, there's like a three-way war going. Our Fedra's probably all wiped out, but there's like,
Fedra's gone at this point.
right. Okay, so there's a two-way war.
We learned. Ellie doesn't know that yet, and as the audience, I guess we don't particularly know that yet. But you get a big sense of that by them showing you that Isaac turned on Fedra, and then they were like 11 years later, and we don't see them worrying about Fedra. We see Isaac worrying about.
So we have a fight
Sharks.
between the whistling ball, the Seraphites,
Yeah.
Seraphites, and the WLF in the city. So they're in a war in the city, and you're walking down the street. Whatever. As Anna said in the chat, it's just a little too casual. That being said, there was some really awesome dramatic moments that had me captivated on my screen in this episode. There were some moments that I think visually were shot really well, and I think the guitar scene, I don't know how that plays out in the game, but that was hauntingly beautiful. I think you could tell that Bella could probably sing better than she was singing there, but she was holding back, and the way she kind of sang with her voice like that, like I thought that was really effective. And you really believe the romance between Dena and Ellie. I think they sold that really well. And the everything with the revealing the baby, being infected. There's a question, Joe. And you talked about this a little bit when you first connected. So there was a difference in the way that the information about Ellie being immune was disclosed to Dena? Like, how did Ellie tell her in the game? In
the game, so it happens in in episode 2 is when it should have happened.
Right.
Sometime there's the snowstorm that happens where they're like, oh, everybody's got to go get locked down, and during this time, Ellie and Dena get stuck in the old guy's pot farm that's been left unattended since he died.
Yep.
That's when they first make love.
Okay.
And I believe it's during that time, during that snowstorm, and getting to that safe place or leaving that safe place, Ellie gets bit. Or I'm a little fuzzy. It's been a few years since I played it. But I believe it happens before Joel dies. Ellie tells Dena, and I believe.
Does Tommy know too?
Tommy knows as well, but I believe that, and so doesn't Tommy's wife. Mm-hmm. But I believe that Ellie tells Joel she told Dena.
Dena, yeah. I mean, this is just a quick aside question.
Pretty sure.
And then I want to jump back into the chat for a second. Does watching this season and watching the show in general make you want to play the game again?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I figured it would. Jake Jen says her mask breaks her way out of the subway station. Ellie's mask. In 2003, says Jackie C., a massive 1.25 mile long rainbow flag was created in Key West to celebrate the 25th anniversary. Let's see.
These flags aren't still going to be flying, aren't still going to be colorful, aren't still going to be not tattered. And
after like 25 years, I think they do a good job for the most part of showing like how the greenery grows everywhere. Red Lipstick Club adds good episode.
But the flag is fine. The flags are still waving just fine. None of the colors have faded. Over 25 years of weathering, none of that, none of the wind, none of the storms have ripped them or blown them off of their posts. Nope. Fine.
Red Lipstick adds good episode, just too casual for my liking when it comes to making noise. Every sound is magnified in an empty world. It's like making noise in a room with no furniture. Absolutely. Like every sound, every joke, every laugh is going to echo for longer than you would think in an empty city like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Bounce off of every fucking wall. That guitar, that song, that pretty fucking song, I guarantee you, it's bouncing out of that room and all the way down the street.
Dude.
Someone saying, "I hear song."
Dude, in Hook, when Peter Pan's daughter was singing, you could hear that all through Neverland. And it was quiet at night. You could echo. Her song was echoing through the night, Joe. It was.
Well, that's Neverland.
I mean, I guess it is Neverland.
This is Seattle.
Yeah. Well, Seattle's kind of Neverland. I don't know, so.
You don't realize how much sound travels until it's fucking quiet, dude. Really, like, you hear everything. And, like, I know there's nature and shit, but you hear. You're not deaf. Like, very shocking with, like, some of the things in this episode.
Joe,
they want to give audience, like, a good visuals, but I think they've made some pretty.
Well, Joe, let's not waste any more time, and let's get into this.
Get into this.
Recap!
He's moving feathers off his boa. This poor downstairs neighbors. Oh, your poor neighbors, Phil. Your poor neighbors.
It was bad for him. My neighbors are like, what the fuck's going on down there?
Up there. Over there.
They're like, what's that running around? You got a dog? Fortunately, like, I take care of dogs, so I can just blame it on a dog.
Yeah, big one.
I'm very big. Bigger than before. Oh my goodness. Hello. Apulia. Great to see Apulia in the live chat. Great to see the Walking David in the live chat. Apulia, it's good to see you as well. Let me catch my breath for a second, Joe. Haven't been in a while. Great to see Phil and Dirty Lux acting crazy as always. Of course. Queenly, thank you so much. It's just, it gets the blood boiling, you know? I mean, one of these times I'm probably just going to pass out, you know, and like fall down, Joe. But it would be a fun way to go, you know?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Like when I used to play in my rock band and jump around on stage, I would do that for 45 minutes to an hour straight, pretty much. Like, whatever, when we played shows. I mean, I had to contest with being a horrible singer. You know? Yeah, I had to do something right. Yeah, I'm going to blame that. I'm totally scapegoating the dogs.
Yep.
Okay, so let's get into this recap. Sorry, that's me catching my breath for a little bit. And we got the wonderful Mandrell in the live chat tonight. Great to see you, Mandrell. Let's get into this motherfucking recap. So we open up in 2018, it says, with Fedra. And I mean, I don't need to get into this whole speech, but we got these dudes telling like the joke about this dude Greenberg that's just like killing some of these Seraphins or whatever, or killing some people, or like just I forget who they said they were killing, but just a voter, like a random voters, which are the random citizens.
Why do they call them voters?
And that's where Jeffrey Wright gets his introduction in the middle of the joke and kind of cuts off this whole joke, and is like, oh, sorry, Sarge. And he shits talks his men, and they run into where they see a bunch of wolves walking up to them, and he says, there's too many of them. Let's not go out guns a-blazing because we'll just end up into a whole violent situation again. And they run out, and the sergeant's like, I'm going to go out and talk to these people. And he comes out there, he says, hey, and he brings the young dude who was asking questions, who seems like he was the one guy in the back that wasn't a dickbag, and he brings him with him, and they go and they meet.
Come with me, son. Yeah, learn something.
Exactly. And he goes and he meets the girl, and they go face to face. Are you Isaac? Yeah. Are you Harmaham? Whatever her name was. And they both look at each other. They give each other the hinky eyeballs, Joe. And then he walks back to the military truck, just in a very awesome scene. This was a very cool kind of thing. He just like drops 2 grenades in there right quick, and then shoots the one guy that goes out. And then the other dude is just dumbfounded, like, oh my fucking God. And Isaac walks up to me and goes, now you got a choice, kid. And it's like, okay.
Like, I think I made it by not shooting you just now. No?
Yeah, exactly. But like, not that he has. Isaac says you have a choice. Like at that point, you could say, "Oh, you screwed over Fedra. What the fuck?" Or you can, fall in line. Like, what dumbass isn't falling in line in that moment? But like,
Right. If you're not falling in line in that moment, you're shooting him when you raised your gun at him.
Exactly, quickly, and then just going on a suicide mission. Walking David, great to see you in the chat, buddy, and I hope all is well, Mandrell. He dropped, the double grenade drop was super fucking casual. It was really nice. Shorty Womp Womp, the sweetest Jersey girls in the live chat. Thrash Face, great to see you too. Great to see a lot of old friends in the live chat tonight. Okay, so yeah, we go back to Ellie and Dena. In every issue I had with this episode tonight, Joe, and I didn't have problems with every Ellie and Dena scene, but the Ellie and Dena stuff was the weak link of this episode.
It was almost the entire episode.
Yeah, I guess.
3/4 of the episode.
But the stuff but I liked everything with Isaac. I liked everything with everything else. Well, and I didn't not like all the Ellie and Dena stuff. There was just some stuff that was whatever. So we go back to Ellie.
So what did you? Okay.
No.
Back to the recap.
Back to the recap. You're like, what did I like about what I?
Yeah. What are you saying you liked, Phil?
I liked the ultimate emotional breakdown that we had with this, but I didn't like some of the business leading up to it. I like the emotional Dena fucking mod dude of getting to the point where Dena's about to shoot her, and I think that works. And I think the action and I think the action scene in the subway station for the most part worked. It had a little less bullshit than the attack. Like it actually felt dangerous a couple times. Even though I knew our characters weren't going to get hurt, but like it still felt I could feel the energy of it a little bit more. Whereas in the attack on the city, Tommy's just walking around yelling at bloaters, walking past other ones, like, hey! Dancing, doing the Irish jig in the middle, slapping a bloater on the ass, slapping a clicker on the ass.
One of the things about it too is if they just sit there and stay quiet, they could get through that.
Yeah.
Like they just have to use stealth and everything in their arsenal to get through it. But like,
I got something in your arsenal, motherfucker.
Like, and that.
Ellie looked deep into Dena's eyes. If I peed my pants, would you pretend I got it wet for the raid? Let's continue. If Joe, if Phil got bit, would you let him live long enough to explain my immunity? No. He wouldn't. He'd kill me. He'd knife me to the back of the head before I opened my mouth.
Seeing as how I know Phil really, 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 really well. There's no way he gets bit and doesn't ask me if he's okay.
Yes. Yeah. Fair.
Do you think I'm gonna die, Joe?
And I'm not gonna tell you at first either. I'm hiding that shit for a while, dude.
Yeah. On top of that, exactly.
Dude, I gotta say, first two things.
Oh, thank you, Brian.
First of all, hemorrhoid hurts. I said this before. That's like the truest nickname in all of YouTube. And for Brian, you're the man. Thank you so much, Brian. You were the shit buddy. Don't have to worry, get your shit buddy. Now, if people don't know what a shit buddy is, in the zombie apocalypse,
it's just as important in this show as it is.
It is. It's important everywhere in the zombie in any apocalypse, Joe, to have that person on your back that can watch you when you're shitting, that can shit with you and watch you, or watch your back when you're at your most vulnerable.
Ellie, don't go stand outside the store. Please stand outside the door, or at least outside the stall while I pee on all these sticks.
Exactly. You
shit buddy.
You had a chance for a triple rhyme there, Joe, and you dropped it. You like did two rhymes, and then you should have said store instead of whatever stall. But I just because. But you did or stall. It was like you should just whatever. I'm being an idiot. Okay, so. Phil, boom. Yeah, I'd be like, Joe, let me boom, dead. He might let me say goodbye to like my dog or something. Hemorrhoid hearts. Joe,
like I know that we got time. So as far as I'm concerned, it's up to Phil.
How long do I want to wait till you
how
kill me?
long do you want me to wait till the fever starts, or do you want to just say bye?
Yeah, I'd probably just say bye at that point.
And then I'd probably shoot him while he stopped to think about that.
Yeah, I'd be like, let me think. Can I go play that drum set that we passed?
Yeah.
Can
Go play the drums? Tell me what it's going to be like in the music store, Joe.
Tell me about the drums again, Joe.
Tell me about the drums, Joe.
Tell me
How
about
many
the
drums are we gonna have?
Are we gonna have
Tell
drums? They're so pretty. These rabbits. I mean, these drums are so pretty. Whoops, I'm sorry. These drums are my special thing. I'm gonna love them and hold them and call them George. Oh my God.
Go look at the pretty drums, Phil.
I will. Yeah, look at the flowers. Look at the flowers. This is like we're combining so many things here, but it all works. What kind of tattoo would you use to cover my bite marks? I would use your. What would I use? That's a good fucking question. Oh, John Haymaker. I would use.
I would hope you would use the lizard or the leopard that's always crawling up somewhere.
I would use Joe's face is what it. Patricia GM has become a sponsor. Thank you so much for our sponsors. Was gifted a membership by John Haymaker. And speaking of which, I can do that too. Let me see if I can figure out how to do that. Membership gifting. I'm gonna let me gift some fucking memberships here. Right. Terms of endearment. No, it's the wrong thing. Send 5. There's my 5. There's 5 for now. Let me send 5 memberships to you guys. Thank you so much for checking this out, and welcome to the membership stuff. But yes, in this world, you definitely need a shit buddy as well. And Doc Kaiju, Justin, Raymond, Led, and who else? Winter, all gifted memberships. Thank you. Oh, they're popping up on the screen. Oh, here we go. I don't have to say anything. I have Ned Ryerson right here to do my dirty work, Joe. Ned, the head, Ryerson. Let me move it in the middle. There we go. That's better. Okay, so Ellie and Dena are being loud, going through boxes and shelves, talking about yeast infections in milk. Wait a second. I'm sorry. I don't want to be dumb, Joe. But how the flying fuck burger is milk even possibly good? Like, they're talking about drinking milk.
Yeah, that was all joke.
Oh, okay, thank you.
That was all tongue in cheek. Make sure you smell it first.
Okay, I didn't get the joke. Okay, I had my old man. I don't get the joke, kids.
Ooh, fresh milk.
Fresh milk? I thought there was some milk in there. Ha! I didn't know if they were talking about like dried milk or some shit.
I'd be scared to drink a Coke after that long, dude.
That's true. I'd still eat some SpaghettiOs. They'd be fucking just as good. Jackie,
no, I'm pretty sure I'm not eating anything. After 7 years, I'm not eating anything that's prepackaged.
Maybe some space ice cream. Jackie C, do you have it turned on that you can accept gifts? It's a setting you actually have to turn on. I just want to make sure that you actually do have it turned on. Because I'm going to be sending out 5 more in a little bit. So we see the shit in Seattle day 1. We see Dena see something of importance. And I said this last week. I already patted myself on the bottom, Joe, because I did not know the spoiler for this. But we saw Dena throw up last week, which TV trope 101.56.
She even calls it out.
Yep. She's like, I have to be pregnant. I puked. And TV trope number 9834. If you point it out, it's suddenly okay. Once you point it out, you can do it. But if you say, hey, we're doing a trope, you can do that trope all you fucking want, right? That's trope 99 on the.
But hey, they broke another trope. They broke a trope now twice.
Look at you, right? You're like Andre the Giant. Like you want a peanut tonight. You're rhyming all over the place.
They broke the trope twice.
Broke the trope. I mean,
I watched that on Friday. I watched it on Friday. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. You got anyone got a peanut in your head?
Dena not only found pregnancy test. We'll call that feminine hygiene in a respect. And
4 of them.
Ellie found feminine hygiene product in her shacking of a store and an earlier episode either. I think it's season 1.
Yeah, she didn't even she didn't just find one pregnancy test; she found 4 of them.
4.
Joe and Phil, are you gonna watch Jurassic World Rebirth? Do you get excited at all about the Jurassic Park movies, Joe?
I do not get excited about the Jurassics.
Yeah, I must admit I sort of fell off after
I'm
the
only
first
half.
couple.
Like I'm kind of. I'd like to see Chris Pratt do not Chris Pratt.
Does he do Chris?
Or do not Guardians of the Galaxy.
Did not
Pratt.
do Star-Lord, basically.
Right, and it's. I know it's not Star-Lord, but it's.
Yeah, it's Star-Lord.
I don't know, and I'm not. I liked the first few.
Yeah, I love the first. I love the first run of Jurassic Park movies. I haven't got into any of the sequel franchise ones.
None of them. They all seem really.
They're just not my thing.
Yeah.
And
I'm not into the Godzilla movies. I'm not into
one of the more recent ones.
a lot of that,
Godzilla one of the ones was really good. I saw recently.
Yeah, like good. They did the series on Apple Plus too, I believe, or was it on HBO or some shit? I forget which.
But I'll watch all those Jurassic Park movies when they come on to HBO or come on to one of the streaming platforms. I've liked them; they're fun, but I wouldn't say I'm like running out to see it fun, but they're fun. I like dinosaurs. I've always liked dinosaurs, so
yeah, those really aren't my bag of tea.
True.
Like
that's what I'm saying. I know that
fan.
it's more my thing than your thing. Like you weren't really into that.
Like you see, I pick out the small little fucking stupid shit and things that they're supposed to have taken real good care of, right? Like when you get into horror and
are we ready for our first call of the night? We have the wonderful, the amazing KP. Welcome to the show, KP. What's up, buddy?
Good night, Phil. Good night, Mr. Joe Dirty Locks. I called in last week and I didn't realize. Only tonight I realized that Joe is a Rasta. So you see my youth. So this episode, I hated it so much.
Oh, you hate you. This is two in a row for you, KP. This is 2 in a row.
Yeah. As I said, it's a good thing I already paid for Max. Because like if I bought Max just to see this, I'd have canceled it already. It's a good thing I already paid for it. I think we paid for the entire year in one go. So like whatever, I might as well watch it because like at that time of the night, on a Sunday, there's much else going on. So I might as well watch it. I don't hate it to the point like now it's kind of hate watching to the point like I watch it because I hate it.
Getting there for me.
Because nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. Like physiology, into like physiology, etc. Just not morally, but like just mentally, nothing makes sense. Nothing like so. Okay, let me start.
Yeah, break it down a little bit, KP. We'll give you a little time here to break it down before we get back to the recap. Go for it, KP.
Right, so I'm gonna be quick.
Oh no, you got a little time. Joe and I will let you take over for a bit here.
Let me just. All right, no problem. I'm gonna throw my grievances out. So, grievance number 1. At no point, this is like an overarching grievance. At no point have they done anything to make me feel as though Ellie or this other girlfriend she has are in any way formidable or can compete
or
against
competent.
any other human being if they came up to them. Like any 2 random grandmas would beat up these 2 little kids. That is so they've done nothing to establish themselves, as far as I see, as like tough, rough people. Yeah, they have a gun. That's it. Like 2 grandmas could beat them up. So that's the first overarching kind of problem I have. Similar to what Tony said earlier, like with Arya in Game of Thrones. Yes, Arya was a little girl. Like she was probably like 16, 17 when in season 7 or 6 or whatever it is when she poisoned the Freys, and she chopped them up and fed them to one another. So, but I believe she can do that because I saw her start as a little child and get into a bunch of problems
Yeah.
and then go to a random ancient place and train with some supernatural warlock guy and develop these weird powers. And now she's back home with her powers like killing people. That makes sense. I don't even see the little jujitsu training that they're doing like having any kind of impact on the way they operate at all in life. And they've brought nothing to. So that's anyways.
Yep. Grievance number 2.
Yep.
Say that one more time.
Oh, I said, do you have more? You said grievance number 1. What's grievance number 2?
Right. Okay. So let's hit number 2. These people. First of all, what's his name? Josh from Drake and Josh was on the show. Shout out to him. He had like he lived for like 90 seconds flat. That scene confused the hell out of me. Why did you blow up the ones in the thing?
Oh, he was one of the guys in the back of the truck.
Next to you. Why is he alive still? Is there an answer to that, by the way?
Oh, why he kept that one guy alive? I think
Yeah.
I think just that's like a typical not bad guy, but that's like a typical
I got
TV
the
trope.
answer to that.
Joe, what's the answer,
The
Joe?
reason why he keeps this kid alive is because he's green. He's fresh to the army. He's not fully indoctrinated. He doesn't even know why they call these people voters. So he's not really familiar with all the politics.
Oh, so he's
behind
easy to
everything.
turn to the other side.
So yeah, and he's showing a little bit of concern, and so he's a little bit of a mark amongst all the rest of the troops, and it shows that he has some sort of moral background, which we end up seeing later as because he doesn't laugh at all that shit that they're laughing at, and he doesn't laugh at them being called voters for being a mean.
He actually shows empathy.
Right. And then later we see him outside and he says, when Isaac's torturing someone, he's one of the guys outside the door and he's just so hard, fuck the scars, kill them all kind of shit. So it was to show that over the 11 years, that kid and Isaac have changed drastically in who they are and what they believe to be a moral compass.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense, and I wish they could have figured out a way to say that to me without me having to call into Phil's show afterwards.
Yeah.
Like they should
fair point, KP.
Their nonsense on YouTube. They should be cutting you a check. I'm very serious because like that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense, and I could see it now, right? But because he's not yet indoctrinated. It's like when the Ottomans would steal 8-year-old Christian boys and turn them into janissaries and make them fight for them. Like an 8-year-old Christian boy, you can turn him into Muslim and make him fight for you and give him some money, and he'll be very, very happy about it. So I could understand that. So, but that was a thing that was on my mind. But this is a kind of a sub-grievance, but all the noise making all the time that resulted in nothing also kind of was, why are you doing that? And then the last portion, the last grievance I would put up, because that making noise was really annoying. But yeah, the last grievance I'll put up is the torture scene. When they talk about is it the scars? That's what they call them, the scars?
The scars.
Right?
The wolves refer to them as scars, and they refer to themselves as Seraphite. And they follow a woman who they call the prophet, who was scarred in the same way.
Oh, so they all do their faces like her.
Someone previous to her becoming the
prophet. The conversation they were having about you still believe this person is a god or is still alive or something like that. No, she's dead, and he was like, no, she's still alive. We still fuck with her, whatever. Yeah, so that makes sense. But I thought it was a jarring scene to put in there without any sort of real explanation. I think this is what I think they're doing. I think they think more people have played the game than actually have played the game. I think they think there's way more overlap than there actually is. Because if you said 30 million people played that game or whatever, or 30 million copies were sold, um, I don't, all 30 million of those people are not watching this show. You'd be happy. You'd be happy and very lucky if you got like 2 out of that 30 million actually watching the show. And then if you have 5 million people watching every episode, that means about 60% of your congregation, of the people watching, have not have not played the game, know nothing about the franchise other than what they see on the TV.
Yeah.
Like, and I think, but I don't think they believe that. I think they believe that 80 to 90% of the people watching the TV show would have played the game. Therefore, there's no need to explain certain things to a particular in significant detail, because like you already know about this from the game.
Totally, KP.
All right, so that's about it for me. So if I will watch you guys, but I don't know if you could probably have a discussion, a quick little discussion.
No, and I absolutely I do want to talk about that. And thank you, KP, for calling in. And you're the man, buddy. And Joe, just one quick thing. I think this show's in a really weird position because I agree with KP. There's certain elements that when I'm watching this, I feel like they're making it thinking that I've already seen this material a little bit instead of introducing it to me for the first time. But then someone like you probably thinks they're doing certain things, simplifying it for the TV audience. So I think they're in a weird position where we both feel that. I feel the way KP does, and you probably feel that they're doing too much pandering to a new audience for you. Like
a little bit, but not really. I feel like they're doing a good job hitting some of the major points that they've hit in the game. They've changed them a little. I want to get back to his first point, though.
Yep, go for it.
In the not believing in these two at all, right? So we never saw Dena do anything, really. But we also haven't ever really seen Ellie do anything. In fact, twice this season now, we've seen her get bit. Yeah. And we know she was bit once before.
Or almost get her butt kicked and get saved at the last minute by a last minute gunshot or a last minute person stepping in.
Right. We see exactly 30 seconds of training. We see them doing all these little things that someone, no matter who it is, would know better than to do. Like, you see, she's still almost like she's that girl living with Fedra in Boston at school.
That's the biggest problem, Joe.
In the Left Behind episode,
is it doesn't feel like any age has passed between with both Abby and Ellie. Like the 5-year gap, you don't feel it at all. It feels like 5 days. It could be 5 days.
And they've behaved in a way that shows they aren't trained up and formidable. All we've seen them do is basically scramble and run and freak out for the most part. Ellie trying to be quick to jump to, let's run to the top of that building that has graffiti on it that could have been put there 10 years ago.
Yeah, that is dumb. I mean, we're
overrun by whatever.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a second. But that was a dumb fucking move.
Like all that shit adds up to believing that this is not at all the same Ellie from the game. Remember, you are Ellie. Every second you have to fight for your fucking life in that game. Especially when, like I said, when you play it on grounded mode, it is darn right fucking scary. It is frightful. It is, oh my God, I'm going to die because I don't have anything I need to survive and one fucking bullet. Like, that's the game. I'm making too much noise. Everything in the world is going to fucking hear me and kill me. That none of this is represented in this.
No, I don't feel like that. I feel like the world's an empty world where they can just luddy-duddy-duddy down the road anytime they want to.
And so that's where they've taken it away from the game audience, because this is not the Ellie from the game. Not at all. It wasn't the Joel from the game, because you play as Joel and you do brutal, horrible fucking things, and it's just as scary and just as frightful to survive as Joel as it is Ellie, if not more so, because you're trying to worry about Ellie not dying, even though she kind of helps you out more than hinders you in any situation. But still, both of those things are vastly different from the game to this. So they have completely rewritten characters, the two main characters, to fit a TV audience.
And let's get into the live chat before we get back into our recap a little bit. I saw a couple comments go by that I wanted to get to. Walking David says, Isaac is the best part of this episode. The best action sequence is the subway. The rest was very weak. Mark A. Houston, what's up, everyone? And David, that's where I am with it as well. I felt like especially, I thought there was a couple of other good scenes too. We'll get into this. John Haymaker, Ellie isn't brutal enough in the show. And we'll get into this right here. So they get more exposition about the town, how they thought Seattle was bombed. We see some more dead stuff around. We see a white, like a tank. Ellie comes up to an old tank, and they get more exposition about it. It looks like there was a fight between Fedra and Fedra, or WLF, or whatever. Some shit happened. Ellie calls some dudes, maybe there's some astronauts in there, assholes killed by astronauts. I'm just yada yadaing. We got some funny lines, whatever. Then there's a giant tower that says WLF, as Joe was saying, and she says, "Oh, let's go up there right now. Let's go up there right now." And we need friggin' Dena to be like the audience for a second and go, "Wait, dude, Anakin, they've got the higher ground." No, I know he already said that, but I can say it twice. And she basically says that, "No, Ellie," and she stops to do this like very simple like, "Ellie, you can't do this. They have the higher ground. We are on horseback. They will see us coming. We have to wait till nighttime where we can walk up and without the horses, and no way will the military have any nighttime vision spotters going up. Well, no way a military organization.
Or booby traps.
No, we're just going to walk up. We're just walking up, Joe. We're going to walk the fuck to the front goddamn door, to a broken window in front of us that was Tommy go in there before? Like, whoever went in there before? A big fucking window broken right there, or the Seraphins went in there before. Yeah, we'll just walk up to an empty window because this part of the wall isn't guarding from the White Walkers. You know, it's like this part of the wall. They're just this military group that's tanks and going through military exercises throughout the day aren't guarding every part of the wall right now, or don't have some fucking cameras on every part of the wall.
And
Bullshit.
Obviously that window and the blood on the window is from someone going into the building and not trying to escape, like desperately get the fuck out of the building for whatever reason.
I want to highlight a couple of Walking David's comments right here. And happy Sunday, Just Genus. And thank you so much to everyone in our live chat. Oh my God. Sorry, I just almost accidentally blocked David. Monty G, now that we know Dena's pregnant, I think they should be turning tail and going back. Walking David, the production design was fucking awesome. The team deserves high praise. I agree. I thought, especially in this episode, that was one of the this is one of the best episodes for just the way everything just looked.
Yep.
I thought everything looked great. Even the drum set where like
to
aged.
give it credit, it looks very much like the game. The music shop is exactly like.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Painstaking detail to make it look visually exactly.
Yeah,
like
the director of this episode did a great job. It could just establishing. I think I heard the director talking in the after episode saying she was like a fan of the game, and it came through in the way that this particular episode was directed. Walking David also says, to what you're saying, Phil, it feels like Ellie just doesn't know how to survive at all. Everything is spoon-fed to the audience as everyone has as bad of instincts as Ellie does, which we don't. And that's to Joe's point of like, you are Ellie in the game or Joel in the game. So when they make choices like that, for game players, that's where some game players feel insulted by seeing this Ellie make stupid mistakes that the player wouldn't make.
You know what it's like? So like in our world now, people cross the street all the time and they get hit by cars.
Yeah, fuck you dick. Yes, I've been hit by a car.
Do you ever not look across the street now?
Dude, it scared me. It's like burning your hand on the stove. I'll
look both ways before you cross.
I'll
right?
never.
And most kids.
I'll walk
learn
blocks.
That basic fucking lesson about survival in this world. The basic lesson about survival in that world is don't make any fucking noise.
Now, I want to get back.
Shut the
Fuck up. I agree with this. Shut the fuck up. I gotta play it. No. But I'll play it in a second. I do want to get to one of Hemorrhoid's questions. Phil and Joe, because I know Joe's answer will be no, but my answer is going to be yes on this one. So I wanted to answer it. Hemorrhoid Hurts says, Joe and Phil, you're looking forward to Stranger Things at the end of the year. Will you cover it? I am very much looking forward to the end of Stranger Things. I liked season 4 a lot. It was my favorite season of Stranger Things. I thought it was the season.
I've liked all the seasons of Stranger Things.
Oh, you're okay. So Joe and I will definitely be talking about the finale when it's over, because I've liked every season of Stranger Things too. I think 4 and 1 are my. If I was ranking the seasons, it would probably be seasons 4, 1, 2, 3. But I liked all the seasons, and but I really liked 4 because I thought they finally established a believable, threatening villain with what's his name, but anyways, so yes, Joe and I will be talking about Stranger Things. We'll probably just do one cast after we both get a chance to binge watch it because Netflix shows are impossible to cover. So we'll probably do 2 shows because it's 2 halves. But yeah, Joe, I didn't know you like Stranger Things. That excites me. For some reason, I would think you wouldn't like it. I don't know why. I don't know.
And part of the point of that, everybody there that's been hit by a car, except for who was it, John?
Yeah.
Haymaker, you've been hit twice. I too was hit by a car while I was on a bicycle, but I was flying down the street and I took a 90-degree turn, like blind turn into another street, and deserved to get hit by a fucking taxi. Right? But like, I knew from that point on, every time I did that, I might get hit by a car.
Dude, before I got hit by a car, I did some stupid shit running across the road. Like, I remember once when Craig, Jeremy Harris, quick aside, Jeremy Harris and I, like, we were crossing to go to the Hempfest live concert, and we like ran across and we were like dodging buses and stuff. And I was like, and I stood in between 2 buses going over both paths. But stupid shit, Joe. Stupid shit. Anyways, let's continue here. So we look and then we see a giant tower that says LAF, blah, blah, blah. So they're going to go, finally, Dena's just like, we're going to wait. Let's wait till dark. So we go and we find a place. It's a music store, as Joe said, and there's a drum set there. And Ellie is excited. Dena, we've talked about this a couple times today. I love the drums, but if I fucking ever in the life of Joe and I are in an apocalypse or we're in a situation where we're hiding from somebody that's chasing us,
that's a bad shit buddy move.
It's a bad shit buddy move. Thank you, Joe. It's a fucking bad shit buddy move. I do not play drums when there's clickers around that can hear you for miles if a vibration.
If you're back in Jackson, we can bring this back to Jackson with us, but do not let you dismantle it.
Fair.
And pack it.
I will put that shit on the back of the horse, Joe. I'll get a wheelbarrow and put that shit back in the horse so we can jam in Jackson.
Yeah, you don't even touch the sticks until we get back.
No, I don't know.
I know what you are. You're gonna be like tap 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 on everything.
What are you talking about? Like,
yeah,
I can't even talk about this without picking up the. I'm like, what are you talking about, Joe? What are you talking about? I won't make any noise.
Yeah, that going at the campfire. Yeah, the clickers aren't gonna hear that shit.
Hey Ellie, you make some noise if you're getting attacked. I'm not making any noise.
I won't be able to hear it over the drums.
Exactly. That's what was going on. I was like, okay, Ellie, if anyone's attacking you, just let me know. Bop, 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 bop. I'm Ricky Ricardo Jr. Like, oh my fucking God.
Don't worry. I'm just gonna be wailing on this guitar up here.
Yeah. But Dena, don't play the drums. Exactly. People in the live chat, Queenie. Dena, don't play the drums. Jack is the interview. Oh, it started. The interview with the vampires.
Yeah, soundproof with the big hole in the wall behind them.
Yeah. The wonderful amazing Steph Snow is in the live chat. Patricia says, I will watch the episodes in a couple hours. Is it better than episode? It is better than episode 2. I think this is for me, this is probably, even though some people will say it was episode 3 with the Joel stuff, but I would say this is the best episode for me of the season so far. This is the one that and it's also horrible in some points, or not horrible, but has these like little things that are really nitpicky and make me want to rant and make me want to say, shut the fuck up, Joe.
Shut the fuck up.
Thank you, Tim. Or say shut the fuck up, Dena. Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, Tim.
Like, shut the fuck up. Ellie. I mean, come on. Yeah, as David says, those actresses' performance make him feel that the clickers aren't even a threat until they're inches away from the face. Phil would start a drum circle with the clickers. The clickers have good rhythm, I will say that. So they find a place, they have a record store. Ellie goes upstairs and sees a ton of guitars, and one's in a case, and one's perfectly kept within the case, and there's extra strings, and she's like, fuck,
And
score.
there's silica there too to make sure that it's not
Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't a fucking capo, so she could sound better. And she tunes it. This is one thing that I really like, Joe. I can't lie. I got to give the show credit where credit is due. They didn't even cut this away. They didn't skip ahead. They didn't have her just pick up the guitar and start playing it. They actually had her tune the guitar, like a real guitar player tuning it. Like, I believe Bella is a real guitar player.
And she played it.
She played it. Yeah, she played it for real. And she also tuned for real. Like, she did the real, like, what I've had to hear 1,000 times with Craig and Alan or Skills or other musicians I've played with, where they're tuning their guitars. Like I had to hear the tuning. Like, it was.
They do fall out of tune very quickly too.
Especially an acoustic guitar sitting in the fucking Apocalypse for fucking how many years at this point?
If that wasn't detuned already, those strings are dead.
Yeah, I'm surprised. That guitar was the thing that's in the best shape in all of Seattle. Like, there's nothing. Nothing. It would have been cool if they went into the Rock and Roll Museum in Seattle. That's a pretty cool museum. Okay, but Ellie's tuning, and she plays the song "Take on Me," and Bella's got a good voice, and you can tell Bella as a singer is holding some back and playing in character, and it was a good character moment, and she's really good. Dena comes upstairs and gives her googly eyes, and she keeps singing, and Dena watches her. It's cute. We get the whole song, and they really extended this part, and it worked for me, Joe. It was an emotional kind of moment, and I know this, but I'm asking in a sort of stupid, naive way, because this is a spoiler. I know I keep seeing people. This is one of those things that I've seen, even though I didn't know what it meant, where people were talking about things to come. People would just say, "Take on me," period. So I assume this is something that was in the game.
Yes.
Was it similarly as effective, presented in a similar way? Like, except Dena's not playing drums in the game, is she? She's not downstairs playing drums, is she?
No, it's so you do have the option to bang the drums in the game.
Okay, you do. Okay, fair. Okay, I'll shut the fuck up about it now. So, do you feel like this was a good because?
But that's the thing. You have that option to do it, but do you do it?
No, most people don't. So John Haymaker says singing made me cry. John Haymaker says I don't know if that specific song was in the game, but it was great.
It was.
And that's my question for you, Joe. But it was a great scene in a lot of ways. I thought it was a great scene in a lot of ways too. And that's the what is
It's in the wrong place. It's a great scene that's in the wrong place and in the wrong time.
There's a hypocritical nature to this episode. There's some really great scenes, but there's some really fucking awkward scenes. Take over, Joe. I gotta go grab something.
This is a scene that you should have had on their travel to Seattle, not sitting right outside of Seattle, where they saw a whole bunch of recently dead bodies with the shells all around from multiple caliber guns. This isn't the time or the place for this particular scene. Like I said, on the way to Seattle, you do this as part of the getting to know you shit. Then now you're in Seattle. Now this should be all business. None of this really should be happening. We should have already had. I don't like that they got to Seattle and now they're doing this
right. all on the outskirts of town.
Get to know each other. Right. Like, they had all the time from Jackson to Seattle, all the small towns, all the small town music shops that they could have stopped in.
They didn't have to get to Pearl Jam's hometown to do this thing.
Yeah, and what that does for me watching a series is it completely takes away from your momentum. This is a scene. These are scenes that were better suited to last week or
fair, but just in a vacuum, do you feel like they presented the scene with the song as well as it was expressed in the game, with like as a performance, as a expression? I know this is a big moment for a lot of people in the game. Would you feel like they did this scene justice?
Yeah, sure.
Good.
It's pretty
pretty faithful.
pretty exact.
It's pretty
Yeah,
faithful. Pretty faithful.
Yeah.
And I guess I know what you're saying, Joe, and I've been talking about this for a week. Last week's episode was so dry, and I would rather an episode like this that has flaws but has emotional or an organic emotionalism to it. Whereas last week's episode just felt just very dry. Like I like this is what's weird. I usually defend episodes like last week to you. Because I like slow character episodes better than you.
This is a scene that should have
been in last week. Yeah, it should have been last week. Yeah.
Listen, we got to Seattle. We've seen the dead bodies in the piles. This should be commando mode. Yeah. This should be we move in stealth from this point on. We use our hand signals that we've learned over the last fucking however many 5-6 years living together. We do all of the steps right. We like
clear.
And you make it more exciting for your audience this way. You pick up the fucking pace. There's not this lag, this emotional, like if you're not into the sappy shit or you're not into the actiony shit, a good way to satisfy both audiences, instead of making both audiences feel like I didn't get enough of what I wanted 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
You know, alienate your audience 1 week and alienate the other half the next week. Like that way, nobody's fully disappointed for 2 weeks or partially disappointed.
There's something I really want to talk to you about, but I think I should get through the recap first because, okay, so because there's a huge elephant in the room that we're not talking about here that was mentioned earlier.
Oh my God, 100 fucking people. All right.
Not that. Now that I mentioned that last week when people are like, "What are you talking about?" Haven't you heard a week of people talking about that?
Yes. It's been fucking everywhere.
I'm glad that I kind of got it. I'm glad I was the first to get in on that. To to let you guys know. Like I mentioned it last week when it was just the start of all that. Anyways. 100 people. I don't know, Joe, but we'll get into that later. So we get the whole song. Then we get a look. It's cute. She says, Joel taught you well. Master Yoda taught you well. It's emotional. Dena is going to make some beef jerky for dinner, and she leaves. So then we're over on the stove with Isaac. He lights it up. We talked about the scene a lot. It's a wonderful monologue, torture scene. I thought this was effectively done because it made me uncomfortable. And in
1,000 miles.
And in so many movies and television shows that have done scenes like this, it's hard to actually make me feel emotionally invested in it. But his performance, Jeffrey Wright's performance as Isaac in this scene with the pan and the torture scene.
Oh my God.
It was so uncomfortably well done. It was such
it wasn't.
I thought it was a really well done scene, Joe.
Oh, it was a fucking Negan ripoff.
It wasn't a Negan ripoff. It wasn't.
I have these beautiful pawns, and
that's not Negan.
I couldn't find them.
What are you talking about, Negan?
Like,
you're full of shit.
Like I'm sitting here naked. Do you cut my penis off and fry it up?
Maybe. Maybe.
It was Negan talking about his fucking bat. It was Negan talking about a million other things.
I'm with.
It was not well done.
I thought it was well done. I thought it was
not. Hold on. It was not well done in a lot of respects. It was written very poorly. Look, we're gonna have the bad guy, talk about Pan.
I didn't think it was a bad guy. I thought it was like I took him more as I was learning more about a guy that was complex. I don't think he's a bad guy.
So
I didn't find it mustache twirly bad guy. I found it more he was expressing more of being a complex man and showing his different dynamics and that
through his copper pans and steel.
He was a cook. He was a wonderful cook. It was fucking important to him, Joe. Dude.
I found that to be...
Don't double dude me.
I found that to be extremely poor. However, I did like a torture scene. Now, that being said...
You just didn't like
I know, there really is no reason to torture someone like this.
No,
Absolutely not.
it was for television fun.
It
we wanted to
was
see
for television fun. It was to show that he's a psycho, having fucking equating this
It was to
brutal,
show that
horrible
cast
moment
iron was better, Joe.
with-
It was to show that cast iron was better.
No, it was to show that this horrible fucking moment of torture and disgust in humanity, right, is something he can find love and joy in through his copper pans that he got at Willem Sonoma because they're pans or whatever. So it's basically like saying
They're
his
cool
love
pans.
for the pans is all about the love of being able to torture this guy right now and try to get the information from him. That's what he loves.
See?
He's just putting it on the fucking
See,
pans,
it's complex.
and
See,
it's
you
not
just spelled it out. It's complex. It's complex
not
and deep.
complex.
Yeah, you just
It's not
explained
deep
it.
either.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
deep and
if
complex.
I got it, it's not
Oh,
deep.
what are you saying? You're not intelligent? What an asshole! You're intelligent. Don't do that. You're a fucking idiot. You're intelligent. Shut up. Fucking asshole.
Dude,
Dude.
it's been done a million times.
Joe, you're Negan
I think it
ripoff.
serves the character poorly. And again, it's a stereotypical bad guy bullshit thing. I'm pretty sure we saw Kathy do that shit in Pittsburgh about something, reminiscing about her brother before she starts torturing or kills that dude.
Okay.
Like it's the same exact thing.
Okay,
She's reminiscing about love and all of this and loss because she's about to love the moment where this guy loses his life. It's the same fucking scene, just a different character and different subject matter. But torturing this guy isn't going to do any good. I wasn't for it when they took the guy at the fucking farm and they decided when Rick pulled him off the fucking fence and they were like, let's hold him prisoner because no, you can't let him go. And if you're me, if you're Katie, dude, you can cut all sorts of shit off. I know I'm dying. My pleasure in this moment is going to be watching you in vain, trying all this shit and torturing me to get it out of me. Like, try as you might, try as you will. I know my final outcome is death, so you can go fuck yourself, right? And like, if it's to get Katie to do something while they've got me, she's literally going to be like,
I'm fucked. I'm fucked.
Go fuck yourself. I'm just going to, you can have them, bye. And then she'll come back and kill everybody.
Yeah, fair. She would. She'd be like, Zed is dead. KP, quick.
Poison the entire fucking water supply to get you.
KP, quick, because we'll give you a better recap. What's up, buddy?
Agree real quick with Joe. First of all, I want to say, I think I want to be on this show with you guys every the show goes on because, like, I enjoy bad-mouthing this show so much. So much. And I want to agree with Joe that the scene was gratuitous and it was unnecessary, and yet, like, it was just to show that this guy's unhinged, which I might be wrong in saying this, but I was told this, that he's not actually insane in the show. He just in the game, he just kind of projects that to strike fear into the heart
until the end of the game, and then it really comes out just how far gone this guy is.
Okay.
So like he deep down, he's really a proper psychopath. Okay.
Yeah, because he's advocating killing anybody. His troops killing anybody that has scars or is related to scars or comes from scars. The reason why that guy says nobody leaves the scars and comes to the WLF is because the WLF kills you immediately if you have those scars.
Yeah, if you try to come out, yeah, they're gonna murder you on sight.
Wow.
Like it, so the hints are all there, but like by the end when it comes down to it, you know.
All right, guys. Well, listen. I mean, I just thought this scene was gratuitous, but I have a little bit of a justification for it because part of the reason why people torture is not necessarily to get information. It is the torture. The torture itself is a weapon of terrorism on all of the persons that you have not yet captured to help to demoralize the army. that is one of the things behind torture. So I feel as though in this particular situation, he was torturing for the sake of torture. He really didn't care or think.
There was no audience for it.
I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. The real reason, KP, we'll talk to you soon, buddy. The real reason why he was torturing was, as much as I want to defend the scene because I enjoy the acting performance and the monologue in a bubble, like it just is a monologue. If I saw that him doing that monologue in front of me, I would be moved by it. But they did that, Joe, for the audience to show that he's like what you and KP are saying. You both are right. They did it just to show he can push it this far. He's this far fucked. He's this, like he can. But I don't think it was Negan-y. I did not read it as Negan-y. It wasn't bravado. It was more matter of factly than Negan goes. Negan's a little bit more cocky, locky, blocky, cocky.
That was all cocky, locky, blocky.
No, it wasn't cocky, locky, blocky,
I am
cocky.
going to burn every part of you until I get what I need.
But he was calm about it and chill. He was more sinister than
Their
than
personalities
cocky.
are different, but it's the same fucking move.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking move. Listen, like, you're not scaring me. I've already been beaten, like you said. I know you're about to burn me or cut me or hurt me again. Like, all right, here's my hand.
No.
All hail the prophet. She will bless us in our usness.
As the audience is saying, Joe, you can see this. Joe is always right. Joe is always right.
Listen, I don't see a need for it. There's plenty of ways to get things across about this character without going right there, right now, that of what he's willing to do. Like, you showed us that he was benevolent at the beginning of this episode, and sure, it's been 11 years, but you didn't have to let that go yet. There's going to be more with this character. Like, you could have done things here, written things here, that weren't so tropey.
As David said, allow me to introduce myself. 23 years into this, it's time for me to give this speech to this guy about me.
Like, this kid doesn't even know what a fucking real pan is, for Christ's sakes.
He's like, what's a pan?
He's cooking on shish kebab over open fires and shit.
That's a little too advanced for those motherfuckers. There was 11 years. The whole time he was pontificating on copper pans, I was wondering, why was he wasting the gas on the fuel in the stove? They just have an endless supply of gas at this point?
Yep.
Good damn question. So we go off to Ellie and Dena. They are sneaking in, and they just casually talk, well, there's some cameras on one side, but this other side, we got a broken window over here, so we can just walk in here. And we bump into some dead wolves.
But why are we going into that building?
I don't
know.
know.
Is that the basement of the tower?
They
Is that
spotted
like the first floor of the tower? Or were they... There was like just a couple of trucks outside?
It was a little unclear on how... Because they just kind of walked...
Look, there's two big WLF or Fedra transports out front.
Hey, Joe.
Let's go in.
Hey, Joe, there's an open window over there. Let's climb in there. That would work. Let me play the drums again. Let's see. And Hemorrhoid says, gosh, Negan, talk too damn much. Yes, we can still... And if you listen closely and you turn on AMC, you could still hear him talk tonight. I'm sure, I bet he was talking somewhere tonight. I think Dead City's on as we speak. A couple people were asking us if we were covering it. I said no. Trevor was better at talking. Trevor was much better at talking. Much better at talking. Trevor is a better version of Negan, and he should have played Negan. As much as I love Jeffrey D. Morgan, I think the actor that played Trevor probably would have done a better job as Negan. But that's beside the point. So the two sneak in, or Garrett Dillahunt is my dream pick for the two who have played Negan. So the two sneak in to find some dead dudes with a bunch of arrows and some wolf guys, and we have some dark visuals. And this is to David's point. The production
it was the TV station satellite. Okay.
It looked, this whole part with this dark visual stuff with the arrow, like the production design of everything looks really cool. Like they're definitely using their saving money, not paying Pedro money on like good sets. Like the sets look really good. And this was in this part in particular, as they're going through, Dena throws up again just to make sure she's pregnant. And Ellie is like, the smell is terrible. We see some signs on the wall. Dena's like, what the fuck is wrong with Seattle, which was a funny line. And we hear some shit on the radio. They just pick up a radio so they can start hearing that soldiers are coming, and they find some dead bodies. And Ellie and Dena hide as we get a very tropey kind of scene. This felt very video gamey. Does something like this happen in the video games where they're hiding and then the soldiers come in?
You go into the TV station. And
this found very
carnage.
video games. Yeah.
This carnage is there, and you're in the TV station, and there's action, and you don't just immediately turn around and run out. You kill them all, not just two of them, and you don't do it like split like they. I like how they just split up and just start running, like.
Yeah, with no plan. They just start like playing Link in Ocarina of Time when he's like sneaking around away from the guards. They're just sort of like hiding behind, and eventually they get caught in a room where Ellie is breathing really heavy. And the dude hears her, and I'm glad he heard her.
Trying to he must have heard her banging at the fucking window.
Something like whatever. Like they were making a lot of noise.
He wasn't moving that fast, and
he just kind of goes, "What?"
He was literally like a step or two behind her by the time she like ducked into the corner after banging the window.
But then she tries her little, and as Anna was saying earlier, it's just all too casual. Even in this part, they were kind of like casually playing stealth mode, and Ellie jumps on her back and does her like her full body grab, like where she wraps her legs around and wraps her head around, and she kind of is getting the best of him for a second, but he eventually tackles her down, and then another dude comes in and is about to shoot her or whatever, about to end things, but Dena shows up just at the right time and shoots the dude, and
right, because they even went so far as to show us earlier that this is her move. She could take out a dude.
Yep, she does. This is her move, but she can at least stall him for a while as they jump into the transit tunnel. They make it to the other side, and there's a tunnel joke about it falling down, and then the wolves start throwing flares. Is that what they were throwing?
Yeah, they go in they can't get through the crack that they crawled through, so they go around and start throwing flares out so they can see without using flashlights.
Yeah, smart.
And just illuminate larger areas without putting a light in front of their face.
And Ellie and Dena are climbing through some interconnecting camera angles as we see some infected, as we hear some sounds as the infected are coming, and they run to the roof and the infected all come, and they're running away from them. They're going to the fence. They climb the fence, and basically this all ends with Ellie being bit as she saves Dena. As we have our good buddy, the one and only, the amazing, the Walking David. Welcome to the show, David.
What's going on, fellas? Good to see you both.
Good to see you, David. So what are your thoughts?
We'll been rough.
Yeah, we're gonna give this to you for a little bit here, David. Take over. What are some of your thoughts? I've been watching a little. I'm spoiler. I've been watching some of your coverage of it. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the Walking David on YouTube, Walking David on TikTok, everywhere you can find the Walking David. Follow the Walking David so you can see some of his impressions, his reviews, and information on movies that will be coming out soon, starring the Walking fucking David. So, or not, but make sure you do that. But David, what are some of your thoughts on this season in general and this episode in particular?
Well, it's been rough. Sometimes I go a whole 5 minutes in therapy and don't talk about it. But I don't know, dude. I mean, some of the stuff that obviously I haven't played the games, but I've seen enough gameplay, and through osmosis, I know a lot that goes on. I'm in the exact same boat as you, Phil. So
I don't understand how neither one of you have played these games.
Well, we're
you what?
He doesn't
understand. I don't understand how either one of you have not played these games.
Dude, it was one of those things that I have that, like, I don't know what they call it, demand avoidance, where, like, everybody's like, you gotta see it, and then I just avoid it for 10 years.
Yeah, everyone tells
And
you
then-
something's the greatest thing in the world. You're like, I'm like, fuck you, I'm not playing this shit. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And everyone's telling me, this game's the
I'm
greatest thing
Italian,
ever.
and I didn't watch The Sopranos until, like, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
Doesn't
was
hold
always
up.
slow on the uptake, but I get to truly enjoy something with my
Troll,
own
Joe.
opinions
You're a
without
troll.
everybody else telling me how to feel when I do it this way. But I will say this, it's the shit that they have copied from the games is, you know, significantly better. And I honestly think it's like everybody goes, well, you wouldn't want an exact copy of the game. I go, fuck you. Absolutely people would want that.
People would
Because
want
the
that.
people
I
who
wouldn't
would
mind
play the
watching
game
that.
would go, you're doing it justice. And the people who hadn't played the game would go, this is the best shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, David,
Correct.
that kind of
Correct.
that kind of
Correct.
perspective is what gets you and I like it for its horribleness in its way, but that's how you get the Super Mario Brothers movie from the 90s or something, whatever it was, the early 2000s, because it's like we can't make it like the video game, and when they finally do make an animated Super Mario Brothers movie for kids, they just make it simple and it's watchable, and that's all you need to do. Yes, you can follow the games. That's the point. Like that's like for years with superhero movies or whatever, where they made ridiculous ones like the ones you saw on television because we can't make it like the comics. But yeah, you can just make it like the source material, and people like that
we're
shit
gonna
more.
we're gonna do Macbeth, but we can't do it like Macbeth.
Yeah, we can't really do that, Joe. Joe, don't say that. You just caused bad luck to this whole podcast.
You know,
It-
like they didn't
Phil,
do it
it's
right.
like the Red Letter Media problem, where it's like they were wise enough to change things by changing the things that were good into bad, and then keeping all the bad things.
Yep.
You're like, yeah, okay, so all the things that the game did wrong, you're going to nail those. And all the things that it did right, you're going to change for weird reasons, for inexplicable reasons. You know, some characters
I just
are,
got to point out,
you
the
know,
game
literally
didn't do
clones
anything wrong.
from the game, and then, but the main two people are going to be off-brand, you know, people. Like, this person's going to be swapped, this person's going to be swapped, but these other people are going to be identical to the game. And it's like, bitch, I thought you said you weren't copying the game. Like, I thought you were sticking with one of these things. You can't have it both ways. But this feels like walking the fence, the show.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's
You know?
like it's walking that
And-
middle line point that it can't decide if it's making it for the video game audience or it's making it as a new brand show, so it's not making either side happy.
Well, that's what I said. It has completely rewritten the fundamentals of the characters by removing all of the violence, because that's the crux of the game. Like I said earlier, you playing as them and having to survive as them and taking all that time to do it is completely removed.
Joe,
And they don't show it to you at all. So you have these characters that do not resemble what you played at all.
now one quick thing I have to say. A couple of people in the live chat are asking, what is Red Letter Media? Please shut off this podcast right now. Like, literally, like, shut this shit off. Shut whatever the hell we're talking about now and go watch that channel. Because it's a channel on YouTube. That's fucking hilarious. Maybe I'm talking it up. No, you're gonna hate it. Don't watch it. It sucks. It's awful. You'll think Rich Evans is the least funny person on the planet. That's it. You'll hate it. You'll hate it. Don't watch it. It's awful. I don't want to tell people they're gonna like something because then you never like it, David. But what Red Letter Media is probably one of my favorite YouTube channels. I guess I'll say it like that.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I'll just say this as a quick aside with that. Like, I took the trouble to get into a Lynn Kabazinski film just in the hope that they would review it someday.
Yeah, just so they would watch it on Best of the Worst or some shit like that.
Right, 100%. So
And-
I'm all in.
Yeah,
But
and as
what I was gonna say, sorry to interrupt.
no,
you, Phil,
keep
but
going
what I was
because I'll
gonna
just
say
talk
is,
about Red Letter Media, so I'll shut up. Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this commercial, but if you have, this will make a lot of sense. There's a commercial where it's like a group of people and they're like in a horror film and they're like, what should we do? And the guy's like, well, we have to go hide in the house. And they're like, are you crazy? And they're like, why can't we just take the running car with the keys in it? And they're like, no. And they go, let's hide in the meat slaughtering you know,
with all the
house, and they all go
chainsaws.
and they run behind them. They
Yeah.
go,
With all
if
the
you're in a
chainsaws.
horror film, you make terrible decisions.
Yep.
But with Geico, you don't have to. You know, like it's one of those. That's what this show is, but an entire like saga of characters just acting out of pocket and not making any sense, and the fact that Ellie is just so bad at surviving, and yet it's like, oh man, she can do a Krav Maga, put him in an armbar thing, and it's like, yeah, but she doesn't know to be quiet.
Yep.
Yeah. They can
Like,
sneak
she
across
doesn't know to shut up, and Dena
I like
has
how
to
you put
talk
it,
to
1,000 miles, David. 1,000 miles. 1,000 miles from Jackson to fucking Seattle. And they just ignore it. And all of that travel, it's like, all right, we're there.
Yeah, no, it was like they montaged it. They
and
they gave us a little
the
montage.
game too. You don't really do much of the travel.
But to your point, Joe, it was a perfect opportunity to change up some of, just add a couple of these scenes to make them more palpable, because if you're making noise and you're being casual when you're in the same city as the military, it just ruins some of the edge that you built by showing the tanks, like the Emperor, the Empire from Star Wars, don 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 don, pounding through, and crazy people like Jeffrey Wright's character when you're sitting in there playing drums 5 miles away. But if you do that, if you break up that episode, to your point, if you because they're not against changing things, so you add a little bit more substance to that. The other thing I'm going to talk about when David goes to that, or I don't know, I don't mind if David's here for this because it's not that big of a spoiler, but it's not a spoiler to say that in the game, Abby is as big and important a character as Ellie. Correct, Joe?
Correct.
Now, how do you feel that we've now had 2 episodes that we haven't seen Abby? Do you think that hurts?
How do I feel?
Or Joe first, then you, David. Like, how do you feel as somebody that played the game and knows that you have to relate to Abby, and people are not seeing her for 2 episodes? Do you think that's a smart move, that it looks like they're going to do 6 episodes with Ellie and then next season's going to be with Abby?
Okay, so I gotta say this: while you're playing the game, there are times when you're like, all right, I should be getting back to that other character soon. All right, I should be and like hours go by and you're not playing as Abby yet, or you're not playing as Ellie yet. Like, it's different if you play it on easy mode and you can run through it and you don't have to take time and care. It might not be hours as it is between switches. So as far as not seeing Abby for 2 episodes, I don't mind that. Again, I'm going to air my grievance from all my years of professional writing on television and movies and say they should have put the Abby
first
shit first.
Yeah, me too. That's what
we should have been all on board. Like, yeah, make your audience. They've already waited 1.5 years, 2 years for Joel and Ellie to come back. Make them wait through 3 fucking episodes. Make them really burn for it. Make us love fucking Abby, right? Really let us get to know her. Don't even tell us why we're with her. What Joel did yet until we get to that fucking scene.
Tony was talking in the previous stream about maybe even like you start the season with Abby and her dad in a flashback, and we don't even know that that's the dude yet, and then we sort of like flash to him in a situation. And David, as somebody like me that hasn't watched, that hasn't played the game,
and that's how they started the season 1, right? The flashbacks of like the virus outbreak and shit. They could have done that.
Yep.
They could have set that precedent.
100%.
And then we get flashbacks to like pre-outbreak in the fucking Philippines or Taiwan or some shit, or wherever it was, where they get that woman to come fucking check out the mushroom man, or mushroom woman on her
Do you
slab.
know
like,
the mushroom man, the mushroom man, the mushroom.
I just thought of this while Joe was saying that. You could even go like crazy far back, where it's like not just even like showing her with her dad, show her like as an infant getting raised and like literally growing up with her dad. So we get
Well,
basically what we got with Joel and his daughter, but with
yep. In the game, there is
Abby
that
and her
flashback.
father. And so that way you don't know who that is. You're waiting for there to be a connection. Then you reveal that her dad gets killed in this brutal fucking way. So it's the inverse of what Joel went through, where his daughter got killed. And you see Abby's father get killed, and you see what would have happened. It's almost like, you know, the Flashpoint universe with like Batman or whatever, where it's like, you know, Thomas
exactly
Wayne
right.
becomes Batman,
Mm-hmm.
and
exactly right.
his mom becomes like the Joker or whatever. It's like that shit. Like, what happens if Bruce dies?
And they do
instead
give
of
you those.
Bruce
They
becomes
do give you
Batman?
that flashback. They go flashback back to when she is very young, and they're still down in like, they're still with the Fireflies. She's like
Yeah.
maybe 12, 13 years old, and they're in like a zoo area trying to get like save some animal that got caught in the fence.
Yeah,
like,
they should have started the entire season with that. Now, David, we're gonna get back to the recap. You're welcome to stick around with us if you want, or if you need to run. I understand, but you're welcome to stick on the phone with us during the rest of the recap if you want to stick around. So they run on the roof. If anyone else wants to call in, let us know, and we'll kick David off. Oh, that's what we'll tell.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll hang for a sec though.
Yeah, you can hang out for a little bit, but let's get back to the recap a little bit. So they run on the roof. Well, we are action, blah, 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 blah. They keep going. Dena's like, what the fuck? And we get to what I think, at least for me, was an interesting dramatic moment that they set up here, where they escape Ellie's bit. She sacrifices her arm so Dena doesn't get bit as they make it through the turnstile, which is all a pretty interesting action scene. I thought this is a weird thing. I thought this scene was, do I know the Mushroom Man? No, sorry. I thought this scene was filmed really well, but why do I not feel any danger for my characters? Like, I thought they did a great job at establishing sort of an intensity to the moment. They did a great job at filming the infected in a way that made me feel claustrophobic and like they were coming at me and like I could feel what the characters were feeling in that moment. But at no time did I feel like Ellie and her were in danger. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that was just because I'm like, they're not killing Ellie or Dena this early in this fucking
even
season.
with all of Dina's stop and look, I've never seen an infected before.
Yeah,
stares at them.
I feel like I don't know what exactly that was, but I feel like it was still filmed well. I don't know. Does that make sense, David? Like, I feel like it was filmed well, but it still didn't create the characters have too much character. I don't know.
Because and Joe will definitely agree with this. I'm sure you will too. Is that the rules of the world have already been horribly inconsistent. Okay? And just like if you have a ghost movie, you need to establish the rules. What can the ghost do? Can it touch stuff? Can it hurt you physically? Does it invade your mind? And then you have to fucking stick with it. It can't do whatever the fuck you want it to do in that moment, because otherwise, what are you supposed to feel when you see that?
Yep.
Because the same thing goes for like the scene where Ellie gets bit in the turnstile. It's like Dena shoots the thing in like the upper thigh, and it just keels over.
It was a dragon glass bullet, and it just,
and not only that, but like you see the tentacle sticking up in the ground, but like nobody touched those ones nobody touched them.
Joe, do you think, and this is an overall question, I've asked this every week, so I know your answer already. Does the lack of the fact that the spore thing isn't an issue around create a lack of tension as well? That they that they don't have to wear masks, that there's no gases,
I think if they had left this stupid fucking underground tentacle shit out and kept the spores in, I think it would have been a lot better.
That's my question, basically.
I think that would have made this scene a lot better, because what you could have done here is, again, highlighted the stealth matters in this world. And just as they were able to get away by running from these soldiers and get through those cracks and get into this area, they didn't make any fucking noise. If they stay down, stay in cover, instead of just like, look, up there, run! Right? like use your hand signals and like let's go. Make this cave like make them having gone into this cave, and Ellie's gas mask, spore mask, gets fucked up, gets pulled off while she's sliding.
Yeah, and that creates an even more emotional kind of moment.
And then Dena's got to be like, you just inhaled all those spores. You have to be fucking infected right now. That's how this shit works. That's how it works in the game, right? Like, they should have done that and then highlighted how they didn't even have to get involved or be chased to make it a dangerous thing. Just make them have to keep sneaking past the soldiers and the infected fighting each other, which you do in the game. Every chance you get, you let the infected kill the living. So you can only deal with the infected.
It makes your life easier.
It makes your life much easier to let the factions fucking fight it out that are fighting in front of you, and only third party the remaining people that are left. Like,
dude, you know what it is? It's like, once again, that goes back to kind of like I was saying about the rules. Are you being quiet or are you not? Does that matter or does it not?
You don't feed them after midnight.
Are these soldiers intelligent and well-trained and militia people who can keep up speed with a 14-year-old girl in the rain? Or can they not? Men at their peak strength and physicality. How come they don't shoot through the hole? They get to the hole and they like do a Looney Tunes like there's no way to get through there, and you're like, bitch, I mean, I'd be shooting through your feet up into your torso.
Yep.
Okay, like, I don't even know what the hell. How come they can't even get these characters to get winged to justify more tension and them slowing down.
At least been bit twice.
I mean? Like, oh shit, I'm shot in the foot. I gotta hobble away.
Yeah, it's the tension of that is because it's unfortunate, because I do think some of the moments and the performance moments and the visuals pull it off, but I can't disagree with anything both of you guys are saying. The next morning, Ellie is like shaking because we have some good moments, and I thought this was a good visual kind of the way they shot this with the light, and you couldn't see Dena, and Ellie's just sort of explaining herself. I thought just from a simple scene in a bubble, this was just done really well. Dena takes the flashlight off and walks towards her, and Ellie says, and they sort of accept the moment, and Ellie says, and she says, "I'm pregnant," and then tackles her, and they start making out, and then they do it. They do it like the music plays, the undercover music plays. Where is it? Anyone who does an eye, yeah, the music plays. They do it. It's fun, and I thought it was a nice romantic scene. They wake up and they have morning glow. Wake up. Ellie is spooning her and kissing her. They kiss and they get ready to kiss, but they have bad morning breath and they eat beef jerky instead. Ooh, beefy. They cuddle, and all these scenes just. They worked for me. They're subtle, but they were fine. Ellie asks,
but wait,
"Yep."
They escape after getting bit. They run out from the subway.
Joe, it's romantic. Come on.
And they run across the street.
Come on, Joe. It's romantic.
And this is where we'll hide.
Yeah, and then they do it.
Because the soldiers, they're all dead now. They didn't have radios. There aren't more out here looking.
No, they all died.
They're infected. They just stopped. They're not coming after us anymore.
Chair possible to block the door.
Yeah, exactly, okay. David. Thank you. She got the lightest chair possible to block that door. They're safe from the soldiers now.
Yep.
They're safe now.
They're fully safe to have sex now. It's okay.
Because not only do clickers have a hard time with doors, human beings with opposable thumbs and brains at work also have a problem with doors. Like, just like those guys, they got to the hole and they just couldn't figure out how to pull their gun out.
This is why the gorilla wins.
Small hole.
David, this is why the gorilla wins. Because they can't. Humans can't open doors.
By Hollywood.
Humans can't open doors. The gorilla wins. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Okay, so Ellie asks why now, and I thought you were gone. They talk about why it happened and whatever. And I thought this was kind of a cute line read where she's like, "I thought I was good at hiding it. You were fucking good at hiding it." Again, I just like this actress. I think I want to see her in better stuff. And Dena basically says I was bi, but my mom said no. You like boys. And Jesse's a good guy, and now we're gonna have a baby. We're all having a baby, yay! And she pulls out 4 pregnancy tests, and it's really good. I mean, this is the end of the episode, so let me just zip through this. Ellie's like, "We're having a baby." Jesse's right. Yeah, we all are having a baby. Baby, I'm gonna be a dad. And they hear some noises from the outside. They hear some stuff in the distance, and Ellie's like, we have to go and we can't stay there. And she reaches out her hand and says something together. I fucked up, but it's this is the end of the episode. They basically stay together. Did they get surrounded? What happens here? They look in, they hear on the outside. We hear some stuff is happening in the distance.
I don't know, but they could have cut a whole bunch of bullshit out of this episode.
Yeah, that's our episode.
And really taken their time so we have the perfect opportunity when they
have a good night at
television station, and we see a fucking horror show, bodies strung up freshly, not too long ago, right? Like, and then those soldiers come in. This is the perfect time to take a good 10 minutes on action and thriller. Really let Dena hide under the fucking desk and let us watch Ellie do what Joel did.
Yeah, go crazy. Go full psychopath.
Kill all of them. All 4 or 5 of them with their guns. Just stealth through the whole fucking thing. Around desks, pop out, stab with your stiletto, take the gun, shoot someone, run, like all of it, whatever. Like, let her do what she does, what you do in the game. That was the perfect time. And that would have made at least the next time we got action with them being chased and she gets bit, maybe we do it also like I said to do it a few minutes ago, and that makes a much better episode. Take that music shop shit out, put it in the last episode, and take out the oh look, the bigot's on our side now because we both agree on something else. Look, hey, common ground.
Now, speaking of some common ground, let's look at our poll results here. Your thoughts on tonight's episode? 34% wins on okay, Matt okay. 30% said pretty good. 18% awesome, and 15% said shit on a stick. But as somebody said earlier, I fucked up. It shouldn't have been shit on a stick. It should have been pee on a stick because of tonight's episode. But
no, you can shit on that stick too.
I guess you could too. So basically, people are between pretty.
I'm pretty sure once she peed on it, she went.
People are between pretty good and Matt okay. David, where would you rank this episode on Side Buttholes? Or no, how many out of 10 if you're doing the 10 ranking for this particular episode?
Oh, it was so up and down. It was like the most bipolar episode.
It's so fucking tough, isn't it? It's it's ridiculously tough.
I mean, I would seriously give it somewhere, like, depending on the day, I'll give it a range. I'll say between a 4.5 and a 6.
Yeah.
I mean, like, because the good parts I liked, and that would have. There's some scenes where you go like, okay, that's like an 8, and then this is like a 2. You know, like, so, like the shit with I'm sorry. I know some people probably love it, and we kind of yada over it. But the whole we're having a baby and I'm a dad made me cackle like I haven't laughed in years.
Yep.
Okay, like my wife said, I've never seen you laugh.
Congratulations,
like
by the way,
and
David.
I go,
yeah.
that is going to get memed into oblivion. And it's amazing watching a meme be born, like Bella Ramsey going, "I'm gonna be a dad," is just like it made me lose my shit. But I thought, like what Joe was saying, you could have cut out a lot of crap from this episode and really built up the tension. I mean, you could have built up that subway sequence to where it was even more chaotic and claustrophobic and, you know, near misses and shit like that. I liked it as it was, but I'm saying you could have taken more time there.
Yeah.
Same with those action thriller pieces. If you're just thinking from a budgetary standpoint, people, all the actresses are there, the location's there, the people are hanging from the wires. There are already people that she has to fight. The only reason they didn't do exactly what Joe said is just pure laziness.
Yeah.
Or trying to shoot around the actresses' inability to do those scenes.
Or a lack of getting stunt people that matched up with the actors they couldn't find or something. Like something
all
like that.
All of those things, David. Yes, to your points. It is. It's just complete laziness. I blame it. I really do. I blame it on what's his name? Or their name, Manzin?
Druckmann
So-
made.
No, Druckmann made the game. Druckmann wrote the game.
Yeah, but
he produced the
he's
game,
big in the
he
production too.
directed the game, like all that shit. Like I know he's big in the production, but the thing is the television part
Is Craig
the
Mazan or
the adapted to television part.
yeah, is this guy Craig Mazan or Mazan
Manzin, and
something
he
like that.
is fucking ruining it.
Is he
Druckmann
the
might
Gimple
not-
of this shit?
Doesn't really have a big enough say, or is just like, I'm just so glad I'm able to do this, and I got HBO, and like that he is allowing poor decisions. He knows how a story should be written. Like he knows all of the intent that he made, that he wanted to put to you in that game was put to you. Like it's not. It's I blame that half, because the other product can already speak for itself.
Welcome back,
Does that
John.
make sense?
Yes, it does.
I can't see where the blame otherwise goes.
David, give us. We're gonna start to wrap things up. David, some of your final thoughts and responses to like what Joe says, and some of your final thoughts in this episode.
Okay. Well, I think this whole season and show is kind of falling victim to. I mean, I'm not trying to get political. I'm really not, but I think it's heavy-handed in the virtue signaling, because I know that this shit is brought up in the game, but it feels just more focused on kind of saying like "fuck you" to the audience. You're too stupid to get this shit, and talking down to people, and it's the same problem that like that all-female Ghostbusters had, where like they were yelling at the fans and going, "All of you original Ghostbusters lovers are idiots, and here's what you should have been thinking this whole time." And it just feels very spoon-feedy, like they're treating everybody like morons, and that they are as stupid of viewers as these characters are in the show, which is just not true. I think anybody with basic survival instincts is looking at this show, scratching their head going, what in the fuck? I think the production design is beautiful, and it's a shame that all of that hard work was put in for the sake of this.
Yeah.
Because it's a travesty, truly. I mean, like the fact that these actors aren't even acting in a lot of these scenes, they're just goofing off, as far as I'm concerned. Because it's like, listen, man, I'm an actor and I've directed actors. I know goofing off when I see it. They're goofing off.
Totally. And they're not
And
committed.
like,
they're not locked into scenes all the way at times. It's definitely.
Yeah, they're not fully invested and committed into this, because the people who did the voice acting and the mocap and shit, when you even watch the mocap behind the scenes, they are in that shit.
David, it's more.
They are fucking those characters.
And it's even
okay?
more
And you believe
obvious
every second.
And it's even more obvious in tonight's episode when you have somebody like Jeffrey Wright there, who's like hitting his marks so sharp, and because he's the guy that did the voice. People don't know, and I can say this now in confidence because Joe verified it. Jeffrey Wright plays the same character in the game too, so he's just reprising his role. So
same goes for the actress who was playing Marlene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
she was also the voice actress in that, and she was brilliant. Okay. And it's like, listen, man, you should have just given those voice actors their shot here and let them do it, because clearly they had a grip on who these characters were, and you just rushed through this and stunt casted the whole thing. And you just took people who you thought were hot shit, or they knew the right producer, or they fit the budget that you're trying to hit.
We really wanted to work with her, so we made her Abby.
Yeah. No, it was we wanted her as Ellie, so she aged out of it, so we want to cast her as Abby now because we wanted to work with her. And that doesn't work. That's like with Topher Grace. They wanted to cast him as Peter Parker, or he was one of the finalists for Peter Parker. So they're like, "Oh, we'll just make you Venom." You don't fit Eddie Brock. You're not Venom, Topher. Like, you're fucking Eric Foreman. You're more of Peter Parker. No, you're not a good Peter Parker.
Yeah, as the actor should know not to take that role.
Yeah, but you can't. But in fairness, as someone's paying you,
take whatever. Yeah, you take the roles that you can get.
I will also say this.
To be big.
No matter. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm not trying to step on your
No.
No, you're good, David.
No matter what people say about this season, we all know for a fact that not one person is watching the show because they're a Bella Ramsey fan. Not one.
Probably not.
Okay. And
I got to
it's
admit,
like
I am a fan of hers from Game of Thrones. I think
yeah.
she's doing a good enough job in this, but that's not why I'm watching the show. Correct.
Exactly. She's not
Right.
she's not
That's
selling
what I mean.
tickets.
I don't mean that I liked her in Game of Thrones as well. I mean, you can go back and watch Phil's recaps and reviews and
Yep.
back then, and I I thought she was a badass as
She's a
Lyanna
she's
Mormont
a she's
and
a
little
good
awesome
she's a
little
good
bitch,
she's a good
okay?
actor.
Yep.
She's just not a show carrier.
Correct.
Listen, she's cringe-inducing to watch. She's really bad at flirting, okay, and she's awkward
Agreed.
in every regard, and she doesn't come across as Ellie at all from what I've seen. And I don't have to have played the whole game to not know through osmosis that she's a really bad cast for this. Now, here's the thing. If she focused the fuck up, she could do better, but this is a classic case of Chandler Riggs's Carl Grimes. He self-admitted that he didn't try very hard, and it was obvious. And by
Yep.
the time you tried too hard, you were such an asshole that your parents got you fired from your own show.
Yep, and then complained
Okay.
about it for months afterwards. Like
Yep.
Chandler sacrificed Chandler, as Vince McMahon once said about Brett. Brett screwed Brett. Chandler screwed Brett. I mean, screwed Brett. Chandler screwed Chandler. David, awesome stuff as always. We hope you call in again before the end of the season or join us. We love you, David. Talk to you next time, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
Love you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Oh,
Love
David,
it.
before
Love
you
Joe.
go, I said it at the beginning. I'll say it again. David, where can people find you if they want to see more of your stuff?
Oh, as Phil was saying, on YouTube, The Walking David, on TikTok at The Walking David, and on Instagram at Mr. David Grayson, Mr. David Grayson. So,
And David is
check it
freaking hilarious. So many amazing things that he has done. But if you haven't checked it out, Bill Burr was watching a bunch of people that did impressions of him, and he checked out one of David's impressions. Norman Reedus has checked out some of David's impressions of him too. So make sure you check that out and check out David's impressions. He does tons of amazing, interesting ones. So if you've heard David do some stuff in the show and you want to hear more of The Walking David, make sure you do follow him on one of his social media platforms because he's fucking hilarious. So make sure you check out
Very
David.
entertaining.
Love you, David.
thank
Yeah,
you,
very
guys. Enough
entertaining.
stroking my dick. Follow these fucking guys. Subscribe.
Thank
Send
you.
them super chats. They're suffering through this show so that you
Dude,
don't have to.
I want to lick your labia right now. We're licking your labia. It's thank you for sucking our balls. We're licking your
Yeah,
labia.
don't suffer through that show. Suffer through this show.
We're not
so you don't
watching
have to
Dead.
suffer through
It
that
could be
show.
worse. The three of us could be talking about Dead City. I mean, fair enough. It could be worse.
Oh,
We could-
God.
Yeah, exactly, guys. I love you, David. Talk to you next time, man. We'll say goodbye to David. Joe. So going in now that we're 4 episodes in and we have 3 episodes left, do you think this is basically on par with season 1 for you? Is it like kind of similar vibe, or do you think this season's better or worse? Halfway through this season? Are you enjoying their take on season 2 or the second game here, or is it because you actually liked a lot of the first half of season 1 up until the Shauna episode of Charlie, the 2.5 Men girl. Up until that episode, you were kind of liking the season. Are you liking the are you feeling this for right now?
Not really. No, I think they've taken a lot of. I was going to say interesting production steps, but I just think they're poor decisions that they've made production wise. I don't know if production wise, but writing production wise, something like that. There's just it's oddly put together this season, and when I think of the changes they've made from the game to the television show, and from what I've read of their reasoning for it, it doesn't add up. Makes no sense.
And I don't know if I agree with you. I like Joe is always right, and we'll end on this because I know Joe's probably got food waiting for him or something like that. So I know Joe's hungry. I can see the look in his face. So I don't know if I agree with you that it's okay not seeing Abby for 2 episodes if we're supposed to ever relate to her.
Well, that's just it. It's not necessarily that's okay. It's that they did it. I'm already disappointed in how they're dealing with it.
Yeah, they should have. To your point, excuse me. I don't think you could do a whole whole season of Abby, but you definitely should have had episode 1 be mostly an Abby episode, episode 2 be mostly an Ellie and Joel episode, episode 3 be blah blah blah. And I feel like you should have almost stretched out Joel's killing to later in the season to instead of episode 3 stretch it out a few more episodes, but you didn't want to pay Pedro, so you gotta get Pedro out of here as soon as possible, or who knows. But I feel like if the goal at any point in time is to organically care about Abby, we needed to see and care about her more early on. Because at this point, and I said this in the earlier stream too, at this point, there's literally nothing they could do that could make me not look at her as a Negan. I don't think that I was gonna call him his Westboro character. Isaac is a Negan. I think Abby is a Negan.
Yeah, that came across very Negan-y too.
And as of right now, I just want to see her die. And I don't care what are they gonna show me. And slight spoiler alert, but not spoiler alert because they've already kind of shown it. What am I gonna give a shit? That she had a good relationship with her dad and she's scared of heights? That's not gonna make me give a shit about her. Like, there's nothing else. Like, maybe there is, but for the most part, that's what I'm gonna learn about her through flashbacks.
Question. If we got
Bernard,
this
yes.
same exact scene, okay, but with Daryl standing there and Michonne standing there and Carol standing there and the hippie poet, the not hippie poet, the
Jesus
Southern poet guy that speaks all weird standing there. And Maggie just
what's his name with the dreadlocks? Like, what's his name? Fucking
with the cowboy hat, fucking the bullet maker, the watching Abraham and Rosita screw. Eugene standing there, right, and Maggie like with a fucking bat.
Well, there, Joe, do you want to talk about there on the phone? I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna follow them about there.
And Maggie with a fucking bat, right?
Hey,
standing
Joe,
over Negan,
yes,
beating the shit out of him, killing him.
Well, this
that would have been a great scene, would it not? It certainly would have been better than Maggie just being like, "Oh well, you're keeping Negan alive. I'm leaving.
Bye, guys. Screw you guys." And
right? Like, go fucking kill him then, Maggie. What the fuck?
No, she knew she had to do a series with him eventually.
But that's the thing. Like, that would have been an amazing fucking episode. And that could have been our episode in this.
And I just feel like we're missing out because if you get rid of Joel from a television standpoint, you need to replace him with some sort of big energy. And I think it's a hard sell, but if you counterbalance the scenes with Ellie and you counterbalance that with some Abby scenes within singular episodes in these 2 episodes preceding, and you kind of see it starts to establish Abby as a secondary character, maybe one that we feel conflicted about in a Walter White, Tony Soprano, like in a fuck this person kind of way, but there still establishes another character, another entity, which brings more substance to the show. Right now, this story feels fragmented because it is half of a fucking story. Thank you, Jen Hack, for that, for becoming a member. And I saw Sonic become a member earlier as well. Thank you, Sonic. Let me see if I can find the Sonic comment before Sonic says, Jesse, go to the RV and it's time to cook. Yeah, it is. It's certainly time to cook. But I just feel like what makes, even though I haven't played the game, what's interesting about the narrative just from just looking at it standpoint is that it comes from 2 perspectives that you have to follow and become the character that just murdered the main character from the first game. So right away, you need to establish that dynamic. And I think, okay, in the first episode afterwards, but I think that's where you lost some of that energy in the previous episode. It's not even that you had to show like this Take On Me scene. You missed showing Abby in the direct result of after what she's done. You're telling me, unless next week's it or a couple of episodes with the final, I'm going to have to wait till next season next fucking season, Joe,
Yes.
to see Abby's reaction to killing Joel?
Yep.
That's stupid. That's too long. I want to see the immediate reaction. Does this show make me want to play the game at all? A little bit. I mean, I've watched big portions of the game, so it's like I generally know what happens. So it's partially spoiled, partially not. But I'm going to start to wrap this up. Let's take a couple of comments in the live chat, and we'll call this a night. Rick says, they don't show the brutal killings enough, and Abby should be more relatable at this point. They should have shown her more in the first 2 episodes. Joel should have been taken out after. I agree with you, Rakes, 100%. Monty says, Ellie is no Joel. I wouldn't mind Dena stepping up to be the main character, but she went and got herself knocked up, so that's off the table too. We got the kitty cam with Joe right now, which is really awesome. We got the wonderful Jay in the live chat, SM down. And we got the wonderful Jen Hack. Thank you, Jen Hack, for becoming a member. You guys have been amazing tonight in the live chat. Thank you for joining the Discord. Thank you for sharing the stuff. We'll be back next week to talk more about this and talk about the final 3 episodes of this series. And I'll be back as well with Tony in the pre-show. Make sure you check that out too. Monty says, right now, I don't even want to go after Abby. I just want to get home. Phil, have you questioned the nature of my own reality? Literally every single day, John Haymaker. That's what you do, isn't it, Joe? I guess.
No.
Joe, any final thoughts about this episode? Or you think you said it all? Have we said it all?
Yeah, said it all.
Yeah, said it all. Okay. Jen Hack says, thank you, Joe. I say thank you to all of you. You guys have been an amazing audience. We appreciate you. Toast to you. We love you, my friends. Yeah, my friends. You know I'm talking, my friend. So, I want to toast to you, and I love you guys. Joe and I will be back next time. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share the channel with a friend. And, yeah, peace. Later. Chubuku scrub, Zora and a Goron run. The magic handbook keeps the fort. Thank you, Echo. Thank you, Sonic, your boy. Thank you, Jen Hack. Thank you, Monty G. Thank you, John Haymaker. Thank you for tuning back in after your drive home. Rakes, you're the man, buddy. Walking David, thank you for calling on in. KP, thank you for calling on in. You guys made the show better. Sonic, your boy. Your support means more than you know, buddy. Space Ghost. Space Ghost. Ellie was never really annoying. She was quirky and a bit annoying in the beginning of part 1. But talk to you guys next time. It's top of the world. Skull Kid. That's Skull Kid. Good night, Jackie.